Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. It is Sunday night, and we are back with The Roottrees Are Dead. Womp womp. Incredibly unfortunate for them. This family has died in a plane crash. If you guys weren't here last Sunday, The Roottrees Are Dead, as we find out in this news story, plane crash near Pittsburgh, where Carl Roottree, his wife Brenda, and their 3 daughters passed away. In order to figure out what's going on here, we gotta figure out the entire, family tree. It might have something to do with, the inheritance, because the, great-grandfather Roottree or whatever was only people who are my blood relatives, can inherit from me, or they all get, a equal split, I think, of his candy company's profits. So we gotta figure out what's going on here. Let me hit continue. The Roottrees are loading. We also hit the desktop. Oh, we got a zoomie. I love those, zoom. Sweet. Alright, so we're here just hanging out in our little apartment here. What's over here? Oh, that's right, it's our evidence. So yeah, we're a big fan of family trees and genealogy and putting all that kind of stuff together. I just thought it'd be a neat thing to do, maybe for my son one day to get that information together. I mean, is that a thing as we all get older where we're oh, genealogy might be cool? Maybe it's just me. I feel as my mom got older, she got really into genealogy several years ago, and now I'm getting older and I'm should I, leave something for our son? I don't know. Not sure I'll do it one of these days. But we're a big fan here of putting some family trees together. So we're working on the Roottree family tree. There's our 3 girls who have unfortunately passed away. And then the parents who are dead. But we're trying to figure out everybody else. So everybody in yellow is somebody that we have confirmed. We have a confirmed picture, their name, and their last occupation. So we're going through, and our goal is basically just to identify everybody. So we've got even more over here, in case you thought we were done. So we'll get back into it. And the problem is, too... Okay, so far we've identified 24 out of the 33 Roottrees. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, their name, occupation, and portrait, they will be locked in. And any non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. So you'll see, spouses and stuff like that. You'll see some extra pictures that you can kind of go through, so... Yeah, and some mysterious person hired us to do this, who who I believe said last time that they were a Roottree family member, but we have no idea who it is or what's going on, and unfortunately, I'm having a little trouble trying to figure out where we were gonna pick up. Some of the other things that we do have, if we go back here, we can go over to our evidence desk, because this is evidence that we have collected. What we really started off with here was this list of notable Roottrees, who we've kind of gone through and looked up evidence, and it's given us more evidence, pictures of things as we go through. So yeah. Did I favorite that or something? Oh yeah, this is the number, this is intuition. It tells us, what piece of evidence is most valuable because of, how many things it gives us. 11. Probably because this was where the picture was. Alright, let's see. We had identified her already. This gives us 6 things. Interesting. Oh yeah, we've got their album. That stuff. The 5 pieces. Oh, that's right. Candy Roottree. Elias and Gwyneth. The sisters. Gwyn, she was the actress. This is just the list of names of people. And we still have to figure out, so that was Gwen, the actress, and we gotta figure out who her two sons are. Which is a bit frustrating. We also have the internet where we can look at stuff, but let's see. Hey, Fairy! Forgot to watch the VOD, but it's fun to figure out where we are. Hey, no worries. We're here. This is as much as we've got going on. I was thinking about trying to figure out Gwen's family members here. Her two sons. You're back in University Town! Does it feel good to be back? And kind of, I don't know, be relaxing. Okay, one of the hints that we had here about Gwen somewhere is that, like, alliteration was important to her. And so I believe that one of these is Ronald and one is maybe Robert. But I'm not entirely sure. And I don't think I've seen anything about... Let's try looking them up. Robert and Ronald Roottrees. Because if... I think one of them is an actor. One of them had, like, film school on his jacket. Handshaking, not you preparing. Oh. Wish I had more time before going back to school tomorrow. Glad to be back in my own apartment with your own bathroom and no one to bug me. Sometimes you need that, like, just that space. Even from, like, family members, like, as much as you love them, like, sometimes it's nice to just have, like, a real space that you can, like, call your own and no one is gonna come bug you about it, and it's just, it's a good feeling, I think. But yeah, starting school tomorrow. You've had a lot going on break. Alright, what was I gonna do? Ronald Roottrees? Okay, what was the other one? Robert? Really? Nothing relevant was found. Maybe they weren't as famous an actor as I thought. Here's a bonus. When I pulled out the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. He definitely has film school. He looks like the older of the two. Maybe not, but he looks a little taller, a little older. He's kind of like in the front. You know, it's going to be interesting going home for the summer. Ugh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, that's tough. And we know that it's older siblings on the left. Okay. So I really feel like this is an unknown male actor. I don't know. He's got to be one of these. I wish I could remember what piece of evidence that was in. Clark. Okay. Okay, my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president. His sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. I wonder if that's important. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. And we gotta figure out who this mysterious Sam is. Gwen's in Paris. Okay. Okay, and we know that Wild Bill Williams is her husband. Can we search Wild Bill Williams? And maybe find out his, like, birth name? Site's not very well organized. Searches were okay. Wild Bill Williams was leading man of some non-notable movies in the 1950s. He appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave. I do feel like we read this. My first thought with Sam is that someone had a child out of wedlock. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it's somebody who is actually a blood relative that nobody wants to admit to, probably because of something like being born out of wedlock. Yeah. Yeah. But they didn't want to not include them in stuff. I don't know. It's interesting. He's married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. Wild Bill, quote unquote, grew up in Paris, France. He returned there often. Just curious to know if we can find out his name. Because we don't have any Williams on here. Yeah, or an affair or something like that, and I agree. Let's see. Sam Cattrall. Walter Forsythe. Christopher Hudson? Guy Hudson is an incredibly French name, I feel like. Okay, where their jazz instrument. You should take it way down. Mr. Saxophone. Or something. Is it saxophone? Oh, super great. Guy Hudson. And somewhere in here, it was like, we definitely want them to have... This is jazz guys are getting into it. Somewhere in here, or in here, she wanted them to have an alliterative name, and I'm pretty sure she wanted her sons to have the last name Roottrees. I'm just gonna stick Ronald and Robert in there. Were there other Hudsons? Christopher Hudson, Bonnie Hudson, Guy Hudson. So maybe Guy's not right. Mark Landon. Clark Rafferty, Chris Rafferty, the Rafferty LaRues. This is like a group of people. Jason, Steve Wilson, Zach Wilson. It's kind of interesting, like, trying to find... Like, can I try and find some women? And then they'll be married and have people with, like, a different last name? Stephanie Landon. No, she's... Probably Mark Landon, then, was her husband, and they had Stephanie Landon, but then she ended up marrying somebody, a female, so an unknown female. Don't remember where it said that, but yeah, you remember something about alliteration and something about keeping the Roottrees last name, right? Yeah, okay. Now here's a group of could-be 4 family members. Now who was it who had twins? Somebody had twins. Oh, that's Zach's sister. Zach's not a bad present after all. His sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. I don't know who Angelica Morden was married to, but maybe we can... Nothing. Okay. But if she was married to somebody, then she would have 2 twins with a different last name. Yeah, she could have married like Guy and then had like a Christopher and a Bonnie or something like that. Or it'd have to be 3. Caroline. Did Zachariah Morden have 2 daughters? Unless he had a son. But then that would, if he, okay, so if he had a son, it would be, if he had a son, his son would have the last name Morden, and all of his children would have the last name Morden. But I don't have that many Mordens. I only have a Gwendolyn. So if this is Zachariah and Angelica Morden, any children that she has would theoretically have her husband's last name. So it would have to be that his other person is his other child is a daughter. Gwendolyn Morden. Gwendolyn. Oh, this is so hard. Zachariah Morden. I don't know if I spelled it right. Yeah, Zachariah. Okay. Let's see. This is an unknown female. I wonder if there are any, like, Eloise or something. What is Eloise? We don't even have, like, a last name. I'm trying to think of who else do we have who is a female with an unrelated last name to everybody else. Laura Carlson, Sarah Kossel, Luisa Garcia, Bonnie. Okay. Unknown female. Okay, and this is probably an unknown male because this seems to be like the fact that she married a woman seems like a whole important thing. Gwendolyn Morden. And somebody, and they had 3 children. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 people with the same last name. 4 people with the same last name. Wilson? We got Wilsons. It could be like, oh, Zach Wilson married Gwendolyn Morden and they had 3 kids, Stephen, Jason, and Jem. Jem Wilson. That wasn't the name of Candy, Nikki, and Nina, the Floozies. Alright, this is Wolf from Jim and Diamond Rafferty. Now, I'm interested in this deal, the Raffertys. Where are they? Because there's like a bunch of Raffertys and Rafferty LaRue's, which is weird to me because we have Diamond LaRue. And there's more pictures of her. There's more pictures of all these people. Oh, I bet one of them is in that picture of, what were they, the Lost Generation or something? But somewhere in here has to be the Rafferty LaRue's, right? Because we've got 2 more LaRue's, and then we've got Rafferty LaRue's, and then we've got Chris Rafferty. So maybe... So Clark married Danielle. I don't remember what happened to her. Danielle isn't much older. Okay, his generation is all the free spirits. All aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. So I wonder if, like... I don't remember what happened to Danielle. I feel like she passed away, or maybe they split up. And then he married somebody else and maybe had a kid with the last name Rafferty, just plain Rafferty. And then he married somebody with the last name LaRue, Jane or a Kim or something. And then all the kids after that are more Rafferty LaRue's. You know what I mean? That kind of makes sense. Possibly. What is this person's most recent occupation? Okay. So there's something more with the LaRue's. Interesting that maybe they're married multiple people of the family. Okay, so these are the free spirits. So aside from having the president guy, we have a musician, an actor, a preacher. Well, preacher, or is that the previous generation? Author, artist. No, she said that was Clark's generation, were the free spirits. So we have a couple presidents in here, but then we have a lot of people who are... Okay. Wonder if we can see what any of them looks like. so hard to tell. He said I was back earlier, but I was just sitting in the parking lot. Now me and my stuff are all... Oh, good. Okay. Glad you're officially home. I don't know if this is important. Search periodicals? No, public library. Old book about Elias Roottrees, no downloadable version. Book's impossible to find. So whatever this is, it's not helpful. Roottrees versus RR. That's right. Okay, so the Clancy Trust was the arrangement about like how much everybody would inherit. The only information... Okay, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another family member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information we discovered is from University Law School, which apparently had a guest lecturer talking about the Roottrees versus RR, which I think is like a Robert or Ronald or whatever root tree. White Star Richard, welcome to the stream! I'm doing well. Ready to solve some mysteries. How are you all doing? Or I guess you specifically, White Star Witcher, how are you doing? Okay. How much did I find about this? Oh, good. I'm glad I searched the letter H. That's incredibly helpful. The Roottrees versus RR. You find very few details about this particular incident with regard to the Clancy Trust. Student attention, the lecturer wrote about the legal oddities. Okay, so... RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. It was said that RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording, it was impossible to remove any direct descendants, so that completely dissolved the trust. Okay, and then who is this? Oh, this was Red Herring. Right? Yeah, red. Red was a red herring. So let's get rid of this. Oh, okay. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlit exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottree for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation. That's how we'll honor both of our family names. Hang on. Let's see. The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, which that was her father's name, I believe. Yeah. Linus Cornwall and Marguerite Roottrees. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild, combined with the alliteration Williams, is incredibly memorable. Now, the thing is, though, she did say, I have a child on the way. So we know that they're not twins. We know that one is older. And maybe they only did that for the first name. So the second name may not be an RR name. And then stuff about Sam. Why is Sam so special? Okay. What is this game? So basically we are a person who investigates family trees. It's like our big jam. We like it. The Roottrees, these 5 people here, Carl, his wife Brenda, and their 3 daughters passed away in a plane crash. Now somebody's asked us to investigate the Roottree family tree, so that we can determine who is a blood relative and who is not. Because Elias Roottrees founded a famous candy company that's like huge. It's like if you were the Mars bars, like Hershey's, like people. they have a big candy company. We're trying to find out who is a direct descendant because the way their family's inheritance and trust and all that kind of stuff is that whoever is a blood member of the family receives an equal share of the company's profits. So we basically have the internet, limited internet at our disposal, including a public library search where we can search books. We have some periodicals where we can search magazines and newspapers, and from that we get evidence and we can use it to suss out people. So we need to find everybody's picture, name, and their most recent occupation and put them on the family tree. Every time we get 3 of those people fully correct with all 3 things, we kind of lock them in. So everybody in yellow has been locked in. So we have done 24 out of 33. I wonder if it's possible to just search Clark Rafferty. Let's see. New fan sites for the band Jim and Diamond. See, okay. This is exactly what I was saying, was what if the Rafferty LaRues are somehow connected to Diamond LaRue? And that might be possible. So they were all in the same generation, and it turns out a few fan sites for the band Jim and Diamond seem to mention that he used to make music with Clark Rafferty. They mention an album called These Times. Here we go. So we just got a picture. A band called C&J and J and J and D, whatever. Really, C&J. Oh, so maybe it's Clark and J something, and then Jim and Diamond. Jim and Diamond, and Clark and J. J is, okay, it's got to be Jane LaRue then. That has to be who his, and maybe Jane LaRue is Diamond LaRue's, like, sister or something, and then their kids are the Rafferty LaRues. Now, what did we get? These times. Dang it, like, no one's face is in... Oh. I guess their faces are sort of in here. Okay. Folk songwriting catchy, magazine. Okay, These Times is an old single from folk group C&J and J&D. You have a scan of the album as well as a recording of the title track thanks to a collector of Jim and Roottrees memorabilia. We said Roottrees. I'm trying to do some genealogy on my family to find some specific ancestors. Trying to find our connection to the ancestor who started our lineage in the New World on my grandmom's side. Oh, that's really cool. Trying to find the birth certificate of the ancestor on my grandma's side who is the pureblood Cherokee. We know we're native Cherokee. It's not hard to see. Bone structure stuff. Okay. Just need to get the birth certificate of the ancestor. Oh, so that you can join the Cherokee Nation. That'd be really cool if you're able to find that. I remember when I lived in New York, I took a weekend one time and went to Ellis Island to look at their records and do some genealogy stuff there. It was pretty cool. Because I had family members come over from, like, Italy and stuff like that. Alright, let's see. Okay, we have a scan of the album as well as a recording of the title track. Website also lists the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees, backup vocals by the LaRues. On it is a sticker that says folk style songwriting catchy magazine, so we'll probably have to look this up in magazine. I wonder if we can just look up These Times. Nope. A section of the magazine called Skip It or Flip It has short, pithy blurbs about new records. The album called These Times is listed under the Skip It column with the following. These Times, new single from C&J and J&D, Clark Rafferty, Jim Roottrees, and 2 of the LaRue sisters. Amateurish folk style writing is catchy at times. It ultimately doesn't do anything new. Alright, so we have pictures of the 4 of them. The question is kind of who's who. So the lyrics, life is life and love shall be, me for you and you for me. Someday will come, though, that this tree will be the last of what was we. This tree, I wonder if they mean like the root trees. Your great-grandmom is the one who told us as it was her relative that was still alive to tell her when she found out. Interesting. The Wicked Witch of the Midwest. Oh, no. Your great-great-grandmom. What a nickname. Alright, let's see. Oh, wait. Let's go. Yeah. Woo!
Life is life, love shall be. Me for you, you for me. Someday will come, though, that
this is,
will be the last of
okay.
what was we. With passing years, all paths diverge. Rivers rambling, onward surge. One soul behind old memories.
No. Oh, it's just gonna keep playing. I can't stop it. I can't stop it. Oh, no. Okay. It started... This song started out sounding like one of the chase songs from the old Scooby-Doo series. Absolutely it did. Absolutely it did. Okay. I don't know if any of these lyrics are important. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't think there's anything terribly important. So the question is who here? We've got 3 people with brownish hair and 1 person who is blonde. It does not say if there are clues in the lyrics. Oh! The lyrics of the song contain no clues. I thought I was looking, in my brain, I was looking for that because I remembered it from the previous time we saw song lyrics, but I didn't think that I saw it. Okay. So we know that Diamond looks like this. Diamond has blonde hair. So is this Diamond as well? And that means that one of these would be James, probably him. So is this Clark? And Jane LaRue? It's not a terrible song. Not great. So is Clark Rafferty a musician? I don't know why this is so endearing. Oh, I think we can also... Oh, man. I really should have taken better notes. I really wish this music would stop. I don't know how to get it to stop. Oh. Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay. That was making my brain feel insane. The other thing, Lauren has talked about her brothers, Clancy Jr. and Elias and somebody else. I don't know if we can figure out some information on them. That's so hard because I took a week in between for these games. Like, I think last time when I played, like, Return of the Obra Dinn, I think I just did, like, every stream was that game back to back until I finished it. Alright, let's see. Okay, so it shows me where I printed something. Tommy Mark Sheridan. Oh, his relationship with Raina. Okay. What was the 5-piece guarantee? Oh, right. This is where the salary of the president is always locked to this one, like, $4. Imagine if you started playing that song and all of a sudden Scooby-Doo villains started chasing you. Well, then I would hope I was in a hallway with a lot of doors on either side so I could run back and forth between them and escape. Can we just look up people's names? No, not really. Like, I tried, where it's like, maybe with some of these, like, maybe we can try, like, Elias Roottrees, but, like, this just tells me about, that's about grandfather. And then nothing relevant there. So, like, I've tried looking up some people's names, and it's just like, oh, no. Like, Elias M. Roottrees. I think the people we could, like, really look up were people on this list. The person who gave you, or who hired you, gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. And a lot of people who were not starred, I have had trouble looking up. So if this were a Roottrees, they would have 2 kids also with Roottrees last names. Edward, Jack, Christina. No, November. November we saw. Now she's the little girl who doesn't look like she's like fully white. She's darker complected with curly hair. This is her. And somewhere in this whole mess it was like, oh yeah, somebody brought home somebody who you couldn't date south of Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, on the back of the photo in childish print writing it says November. And then there's everybody else's signature, and she's much younger than everybody. So we've got Bonnie. Which one's Bonnie? We have not identified Bonnie. Next president, Guy Hudson. Who's next? Who's Guy Hudson? Where does Guy fall in line here? Have we found any Hudsons? I don't think so. But Guy Hudson was a president. The 3rd president? Because we have Carl, who was the 4th. Ernest Madsen, Carl was the 5th. Blah, blah, blah. Ernest Jr. was the 4th. Zachariah was the 2nd. So somewhere in here is one of these guys is a president. Guy Hudson. Ernie Jr., who we found, is that guy. Carolyn? Which one's this one? That's Carolyn, okay. Carolyn, back there. Gwyneth? Gwendolyn? Miracle Jr., Jim Roottrees, Clark, Carl, and Eli. This is so many people that we haven't figured out. Who are these 2 with the red hair? You know? She also kind of has maybe reddish hair. This is November. Who's this woman? Clark would be Clark Rafferty, yes. But which one is it? You know what I mean? Like, they're not in order. Because otherwise it would start with Miracle and then Eli and stuff. So these names are not in order going across. But yeah, no, this is definitely like that whole generation. Oh, based on the album cover? Which one do you think he is? This one? The problem is his face is like half covered in that album cover photo. If we think he's this one. He's just like brown hair, brown eye, thick eyebrows. He's either this one or this one. Right, because he doesn't have red hair. Is anybody like wearing... He wouldn't be like wearing the same shirt, that would be ridiculous, right? Yeah, because there it's like a brown jacket and a blue shirt. I think maybe he's this one. Well, I don't know. Those eyebrows, but he doesn't have like sideburns like that, or like long reddish curlier hair. Could be this one. The eye shape. Yeah, it narrows it down, but like we still have to figure out who all the rest of the people are, right? Okay, so out of the guys, we have 1, 2, 3 guys not identified. Right, this guy in the back. So one of them is Clark, who right now we have this guy as Clark, and then we have 2 other guys. So one of them is Guy Hudson. One of them is Carl, maybe? No, we have Carl. Carl's this guy. Eli M is this guy. Jim. Which one's Jim Roottrees? Who's Jim? So there's Carl. Oh, Jim is James. So do we think maybe this one is Jim? I think maybe that one's Jim. So he's kind of got those like nice eyebrows. Same kind of looking eyes, mustache versus a beard. Just like longer, curlier hair. So if that's that one, then this is next president, Guy Hudson. And Guy maybe has a sister. It's an assumption, but they're standing next to each other and they have red hair. So would they be these 2 kids? These be the Hudsons? So maybe it's Christopher and oh, that's so one of the whoever it is. Why do I have unknown female as the firstborn? I don't know if that's true or not, but I'd say it's Bonnie. And Guy. And he was the 4th president. Search. Okay. So Guy Hudson I can look up. 3rd president? Thank you. Yep. Okay. Now Guy Hudson is somebody I can look up even though he's not starred. It's so hard because you're like, I feel like there's so many I look up and then nothing happens. It's like, oh, we couldn't find any search results. And then sometimes you hit on the right one and you're like, oh, got it. Now, Fancy Flavors was an addition to the Five Peak product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottrees. In an attempt to cater towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors, sounds like Fancy Feast, fancy flavors to Five Pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. I imagine the presidents can be looked up because they were president of the company, but only, I guess, it feels like if they did something notable. The philosophy led to a flavor in Five Pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. Five Pieces sold less that year than it had in any other year, except in some foreign markets. It very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. Ooh, fancy flavors. Okay, that just takes me back to the same information. Okay. So I feel pretty confident about that, though. I wonder what Angelica Morden did. I have no idea. And I have no idea if they're in the right order or not. I feel like I had unknown female here for a reason. But I don't know. Okay, so we feel pretty confident that we have him correct. She could just be a housewife, absolutely. But they have pictures I still don't have a picture for her, although I can probably look at, not that one, but this one. So maybe this is her back here, if that's her brother Zach, who has reddish kind of hair, and then maybe, is it Angelica? Maybe Angelica has red hair. She absolutely could have been a housewife, I have no idea. Just want to try it real quick. So I feel pretty confident that he is correct, whether he's in the correct location or not. Not sure. Who else do we have that we're kind of confident on? I'm pretty confident one of these guys is James, one of them is... Do we think this could be James? Now I'm nervous. Or do I think that's him? And then whether this is Robert or Ronald. This is him from, this picture here is from his album. So he's in this picture as either this guy or this guy, theoretically. The question is, which one is he? I feel like that's him. I don't know why that looks more like, I mean, it just looks more like him to me. But these pictures belong to either of these guys, I believe. And that's assuming he was a musician always. Or that was his latest thing. He could absolutely have been something else at some point. The little extra photos do not change whether we are right or not. But I'm hoping by keeping it in here, it will verify. So in order for us to get them locked in, we have to get 3 things correct. 3 people completely correct with all 3 pieces. While that happens, though, any little extras that we have in will verify themselves. So I'm trying to use that to my advantage on some of these to try and like put in people's names and things to find some of these spouses. Like I put in like Jane LaRue, so hers will verify if I get 3 other complete people correct. And like same thing, I have like a Mark Landon because it's Stephanie Landon, so I'm hoping that will check itself off. So, but I need 3 of these to be completely correct. And again, for some reason I had unknown female here. Now I don't know if that's true or not. You've got so many things right that you have in there. I feel like I do, but now whether I have them all in the correct locations, I'm trying to also like use it a little bit to my advantage. Like for example, can I get Wild Bill? Like I'll just put in a name, like something with a last name that's unrelated to anybody else. So like, I'll put in Walter Forsyth, or whatever, Sam Cattrall, like, one of those is going to be him. Now, if it doesn't check it off here, I can check it off again. Most of the ones you have filled out are already yellow. Yeah, the ones I have yellow are the ones that have been locked in, so all the ones that are yellow are correct, and I can't change that information. Like him, I can still change his extra pictures, because I haven't locked in his extra pictures. Yeah, no, the yellow ones I have are all people who are correct. I'm trying to get the ones that are not quite as easy. I feel pretty confident about this one. Now, the problem is I need to get 3 of these purple-ish, gray, blue, purple, whatever the color this is. Periwinkle. I need to get 3 of these periwinkles correct to try and lock in some other info. Now, another thing I could try to do is if this is Angelica and Zach, I feel pretty confident that that one's Angelica. I don't know who this is. Matt's Elias Roottrees Jr. Lauren. And Lauren's 3 brothers. I wonder if I can identify this person. It's probably this girl. It's probably who it is. Because their photo is them here. So we know that this is Zach. This is probably his sister Angelica. This is Miracle Jr. And then there's Lauren and her 3 brothers together, and then another girl by herself. So, right? Hang on here. Because that's this generation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. Yes. Because he was much younger than everyone else. Right? That's Miracle there. Yeah, we can guess their photos, but I don't even know if the names are in the right locations 100%. As I would definitely say, like, he looks older. She did say that, somewhere in here she did say, oh wait, maybe it was in that description, that I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left since, to me, he looked a lot like Pop did in the old photo, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted how does this music get louder every minute? Oh wait, that's sound effects. I was like, am I losing my mind that this music feels stupidly loud? Okay, way more manageable. Yeah, so this is the next generation. So they were trying to capture the spirit of the before photo. Okay, so her brothers insisted that the 4 of us stand together. So I believe that's the 4 of them. So we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. So Gwen, the blonde one, is not here. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge after all these years. Now, we had been assuming that this was Sam initially, but this is actually Miracle. So this is Sam? But now, is this Sam the same as the other Sam? Grandma insisted we include Sam. So Sam, so he's in there just because he's young. You're right, because, like, he was born so late in his mom's life. Dude, these jazz players really get into it, but I'm like, it feels like the music is getting progressively louder as the game goes on. Maybe it's just because I'm trying so hard to, like, focus and logic and use my brain that everything feels loud and overwhelming when I'm trying to think really hard. Okay, so it's him. And then the rest of it is this generation. So not those 2 guys, but this generation and over. This is Gwen. And then we've got, like, her 3 brothers. Now, I do know Elias was a lawyer. I believe Elias took after. And then Eli looked so much like father in the previous one. Now, that's the father in the previous one, so I would have said this was Eli. But I don't know that Eli is the youngest. Eli could be the oldest, but I thought Clancy Jr. was the oldest for some reason. I don't know. It's hard to think. And I'm pretty sure Elias was the one, though, who became a lawyer. Because there's one here who looks this one looks younger than all the rest. But for some reason, I do have Eli as being the youngest. But I don't know that that's correct. Eli could be this one, right? Woman read a whole book on her life and we can't even figure out her brothers. It's so true. Okay. Her mother's family is called the Coselles, but she hardly ever mentions them. Is that... Okay. Oh, her mother. Her mother's family is called the Coselles. Okay. Yes, this is Lauren. This left her as her son Clark alone. She never married, only had the one child. By skimming the pages, she was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Her mother's family was called the Coselles, so we put that in. Her father, who she always referred to as Pop, was head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company, helped write the legal document, the Clance Ed Trust, and he's Edward Clancy or Clancy Edward or however that went. So there's the 5 pieces. There's the Next Generation and then the Free Spirits. So complaints. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwyn, who's on the notable Roottrees list. Seems like everyone has something to complain about. Gwyn is an only child complaining of loneliness. Yeah, so she's an only child. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears, so we do know that she is the oldest and we have her locked in. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, so Marguerite is her mom, her Aunt Margot, I hope she would be the sister I never had, and I do the same for her. Tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in, the 2 of them, what a mess. She just complained to her I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. She gets to be in all these things and kissing all these men. She's the first Roottree woman to be anything other than a housewife. She is the first one to be anything other than a housewife. So it's a good chance that these women were also housewives. Now, do we think this is Sam Roottree? Now, I don't know if she's... I mean... Gwyn does look possibly younger, but it's hard to tell. Now, I wonder if I should swap these 2. What if I just have him in the wrong position? No, something else is still off. I feel like there was a reason I had her first. But I feel like if he were correct, something would have happened by now. Okay, so Gwyn's the one who was the first one to be something other than a housewife. Okay, nothing else really important there. Dynasty. Focus on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down. Okay. Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president. That's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So nobody in the 5 pieces became a president, but it was the next gens, which we know Zach did. Pop argued at length that the company should stay within our branch of the family since we still have the Roottree name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he was the one who he's the one who was volunteered. So Clancy Jr. was volunteered to be the next. I wonder if Elias is the oldest here. Because I feel like those are the most similar looking in that picture. So I feel like that's Eli. Okay, Pop argued at length that the company... Oh, right, okay. Instead, it ended up going to Zach. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn five-piece. Not sure how that's relevant. Granddad always had very particular views. No kidding, you'd think she'd have mentioned her brothers like a few times? Yeah, apparently not. As Clancy, if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach, which I have. Right, I have that Angie is older than Zach. And I'm the next oldest of us all. But he just left, which we knew that. We knew she was the older sister to 3 younger brothers. And she's talking about Clancy, her brother. Never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, the ever quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back. Maybe they wanted to go to the only member of the family who looked like he samples the product. Zach was the heaviest. Okay, Sam. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottrees had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Lauren writes, why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters, Granddad had a brother or two, but I was told trim their branches from the family tree, so why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. That's Angelica and Zach Morden. Gwen's in Paris with the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, Miracle Jr. and Eli M., spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, I asked who Sam was, and Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. It's so confusing because is Sam somebody else, or is Sam Samantha Roottree? And it's a girl? I can't tell. Because Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farm hands, E.C. and John. We used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records, managed to confirm all 3 are on the books because we have this other photo where it's like the 5 pieces, but then in the background, there's this dude. Pop even had a frame, that's him on the left. Taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, so Miracle's this one. And the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which didn't really go over well. Eventually, I suppose, to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. And this is Gwendolyn. Mr. Morden and Aunt Gwendolyn. Mr. Morden is Aunt Gwendolyn's husband. I found out years later they never even took a second photo. Okay. Eli, Miracle's youngest, so Eli M., not my brother, who's Eli C., even chimed in. Apparently when he was riding his mini bikes, Sam gave him some old tools, taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think it proper for a multitude of reasons. Eli seems thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider is cozied into family affairs, especially the one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup. Why is Granddad making an exception now? Okay, and then Clark. So this is about her son, Clark. Clark's getting married, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18. Daniel isn't much older. Openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark is a free spirit. They all aspire to be musicians, artists, dancers. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, which is the guy who died, who's the current president, or was. But that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. That's why I had Clancy here. Dad forced Clancy to send him to the academy. So it's possible that this one is maybe Eli. And that would make this the youngest one, possibly. Who I would think would be this one, looks the youngest. I don't know if he's also a lawyer. Unknown. Okay, but Clancy is Carl's... I'm assuming Carl's father. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Now, by academy, do they mean like military academy? Because, like, was he then in the military? Unless I have them, like, mixed up somehow. Maybe he's not younger, maybe he's just short. Hard to tell. Maybe I'm just getting older. Our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge. Here we go. And the most rebellious thing any of us ever did. My brothers, her brothers, all seem to pursue paths of knowledge. The most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. So whoever Edward was is who I thought was the lawyer. Is this Edward? Oh, thank you. I don't know what I got right, but something. We got something. It took me over an hour to get some stuff. Okay. So we got Sarah Castle, Walter, that's Wild Bill, Christopher Hudson. We got some of the extra pictures. Okay. Booyah. So, I did not get this picture or this picture correct. You know what that means. Got the wrong guys. Got the wrong guys. Otherwise, those pictures should have popped up. At least for him, because he's already confirmed those pictures should have confirmed themselves, but they didn't. So we can use that to mean that he is that guy and he's the other guy on the album. Okay. The other thing is that I know this isn't Ronald, so I'm... Well, no, actually... Well, possibly Robert. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Unless you're backwards. Unless I have you backwards. Unless I have you backwards. I don't know. Okay. Unfortunately, I think that means that Jane LaRue is possibly not correct. Oh, no. I didn't confirm him. No, but I have confirmed her. So Jane is not correct here? Unless she's up here. And this was her? I don't know. I don't know. I'll just keep those in there to see if that changes something. That means I do not have her correct, which she may have just had another occupation. Because I don't know that she's older or whatever than Gwen. I thought my person was supposed to come by. Blank before the person who hired you return. Maybe they're not coming back to, like, get everything correct. Okay, now one of them married somebody. And then I think this is November. November looks young here, but she may not be because now these are the K through 12 students. She a different kind of student? A college student, maybe? Is there anybody else with like a month name? Is that a weird thing? Like an April or a something? Because the daughter's name is November. April? Am I a genius? Am I The smartest person? That's possible, right? Okay. Well, I can't. The top secret folder, I don't think we can... Yeah. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It has 2 names that must be typed in manually. Clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. So whatever it is, we can't do it until the end. Oh, I feel so confident about that, possibly. So, was it Elias? I don't know if Elias was a lawyer. Was he a military guy? Okay, so, like, I have 3 people. I have... Okay, I have November, college student. Clancy Jr. No, but she's... Maybe she's, like, a K through 12. Because she's, like, everyone else's age. Like, she was the one who was, like, off in age a bit. Were you also a lawyer? I don't know. The academy leads me to believe it's military, but I have no idea. Somebody just a baby. Because, like, theoretically, if I have 3 people, like, fully filled out, something should check itself off, but apparently not. But I feel pretty confident about this. This, I'm not confident about her occupation. I don't really know his occupation. Occupation, baby. That's me. Occupation, baby. Samantha Roottrees did not get checked off as a housewife, but I'm pretty confident that's who she is. But yeah, there's something weird going on here where there are 2 Sams. Does she have like a half-brother named Sam or something, you know? Also, unknown female. Let's just pick another name. I don't know. We'll just pick a random female name. Eloise. Occupation, baby. Zach, Caroline. Now, Gwendolyn was named after Gwendolyn. Is Caroline? Do I have any other Carolines? You know what I mean? Like, do they pass that name down? Who else could she be married to? Like a Luisa Garcia? I don't know. Gwendolyn Morden. And again, oh no, he got locked in. He got locked in. So he is, so I was right. He is the younger brother to Bonnie. I don't remember how I knew that though. But Bonnie is this one. Is Bonnie also a housewife? Unknown. I'm gonna leave that in there for now, just in case. Okay. So I have the 5 pieces all figured out. I have this as Sam. These are 2 of the brothers, but I don't know which one's which, so we can switch them around as needed. But I feel pretty confident that I've got them on the right people with the right names. I just don't know what their jobs all were. Now, I wonder if I go back to, like, the beginning. Is there something, like, some other branching path I could take? This was the Roottrees sisters, Rose, Roottrees. Then we looked up Carly Rose Roottree. Rena, Carly, and Riley. Apparently her parents had planned to have a son named Carl Roottree Jr. Okay. Candy Company history. Okay. Elias Roottrees. Oh, have we searched just like Anderson Maple Farm? Oh yeah, I guess we have. Okay. For reasons that aren't explained, the page, it has no CEOs, no stockholders, run by the president and then the extended family. Every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl, who still is the current president. Then we've got the 5 pieces. And the sister company is just Root, period, which we looked into. And this is just like clothing. 2 catalogs per year. Root's head designer, holding her daughter Rose in 1985. Okay. I think I looked up the 5 pieces. The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Did I ever look this up? Honestly, can't remember. Book series about all things candy in the modern world. The edition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. Oh, we already got this because we added something to evidence from here. Whoops. I'm out of tea. Probably drink water. Okay. Tommy Mark Sheridan. I don't remember how I got TMS. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. He's on a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. Is any of this important? First credited role of Tommy Mark Sheridan, who's only 7 years old, so being credited as Thomas Sheridan at the time. Who is Tommy Mark Sheridan? Because this is like a big thing. Hi, Medio. Yes, please lurk. Please avoid the spoilies. Please. Okay, this is Raina's husband. Hi, Medio. I hope you're having a good night. Did you stream earlier? And I may not have seen it. We've been doing bathroom stuff all day. We got like the toilet reinstalled. I did a bunch of caulking in the shower. My husband was working on getting the vanity in. So sorry if I didn't see if you were streaming earlier. Oh, you just finished up. Got it. Okay. I think today is tougher too because today is my earlier day for streaming. You just finished up Spiritfarer though. That game is so fun and so pretty. I have it on the Switch and I really like it. Okay. But yeah, it's a good game. I haven't like finished it though. I've gotten like some way into it. I don't know how far. No idea how far I am in the game. But it doesn't feel like I'm very far. But I don't know. But it's a good game. Okay, so I don't think I looked up any of this. So since he had a brother trouble, he's often been on the cover of tabloids for his supposed drug use. And more recently, his relationship with Raina Roottrees. After a short engagement, they married. She was only 19, so I don't think I looked up this information. Time Marches Onward is a soap opera, first credited role for Tommy Mark Sheridan, who's only 7 years old and still being credited as Thomas Sheridan at the time. According to your search, the show's been on the air for 22 years and is said to focus on 3 large families that own different ranches in the same town in Texas. TMS appeared as Carson in 53 episodes before his character went away to camp. A few episodes later, his parents learned of his off-screen death in a terrible whitewater rafting accident. After a 6-year absence, Carson returned, now with partial amnesia. I love that kind of stuff. It's so cheesy and good. He recalled that though he was saved from the river, the couple who found him were evil drug runners. They smuggled him across the Mexican border and sold him into child labor. After he managed to escape, he couldn't remember who he was. He eventually found his way home following the address that his parents had written on the tag of his jacket. During the second run, though, Carson was played by an actor other than Tommy Mark Sheridan. This discrepancy was explained by covering his face in bandages and claiming that his work in the silver mines left him permanently disfigured and caused his voice to sound completely different. After a plastic surgery operation that happened amidst a hostage situation at the local hospital, the bandages were removed and the new actor played Carson for an additional 3 years, appearing in over 500 episodes. He was then killed permanently this time, while saving his younger sister from drowning in a whitewater rafting accident. Oh, come on. Come on. I was so invested. Having the same river where his initial accident took place. Fascinating as all is, none of it seems related to the Roottrees. What about brother trouble? Okay. 1989 sitcom about 2 16-year-old brothers. same age, one adopted, played by Tommy Mark Sheridan, and Dustin Christopher Baker. Their single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green. Often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist. Is that a name? I feel like Tessa has been a name. Penelope Tessa Green. Very good game. Sadly, oh, you finally got some sad lore. Oh, I don't think I've gotten far enough to get sad lore. I don't know. Their single mother, played by stand-up comedy stand-up Penelope Tessa Green, often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist, as well as the trouble that comes with raising two boys who are extremely competitive in sports, academics, and even the romantic pursuit of their next-door neighbor, Roxy. The showrunner was small screen director Ron Roottrees. He's not an actor. He's not an actor. Ronald Roottrees is a director. Oh, dang. Ronald Roottrees is a director. Yeah, that's exactly why I was like, let me go back and let me see if, like, in the initial run through of evidence there was something I missed. Yeah, who knew we'd find someone important in all this? Oh, the problem is, Ronald Roottrees, he's a director. Ah. Somebody is not right. Okay. Showrunner was small screen director Ron Roottrees. The show had strong ratings. Here, let me just highlight that. Make it a note. Penelope and director Ron Roottrees. Okay. The show had strong ratings through the entirety of season 1, rocketing both Sheridan and Baker, Dustin Christopher Baker, to instant stardom, mostly among the teenage girl demographic. However, it was canceled in 1991, midway through the second season, due to a significant drop-off in ratings. I feel like I'm confident that these three things go together. Whether they go here or here, I don't know. Yeah, I was also going to look at her, who often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist. I think is another thing. Search periodicals. Maybe let's try Starlet. Music Monthly. She's a columnist. Maybe I'm missing a magazine somewhere. But let's try her again. Let's just spider search her. Maybe we can try Dustin Christopher Baker as well, because it sounds like he got propelled to fame as well. Oh, we got a picture. What was that? Her or just the character she played? I think that was her name. Penelope Tessa Green is a retired comedian. Yeah, because they said she was a stand-up. There's a result for the Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. It sounds so gross. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers doing more family-friendly material. You'll find a picture labeled Joke-O-Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labeled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets in 1994. So Jack is the son, and she is Penelope Tessa Green. Jack? Oh, Jack Roottrees? So did she marry a Roottrees? Adorable. Adorable. I love themed costumes. For last Halloween. So the very first Halloween, our son was like a month old, and I dressed him in like a pumpkin onesie. Oh, Penelope and Ron. Maybe they met on set and got married. You're super right. Because Ron is a Roottrees. You found this on a website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. Yeah, the very first Halloween, when our son was only a month old, I dressed him in like a onesie that had like little pumpkins on it. It was cute. But then last Halloween, so he was like 13 months, he was a scuba diver. I got him like an all black onesie. I took a Dr. Pepper 2-liter bottle and spray painted it silver, and I got little Velcro things, and I made him like a scuba tank. And we have some baby size scuba mask, which I mostly just like I tried to keep it on his forehead, but he didn't want to wear it. And then he had little like fins, scuba fins from a teddy bear. But he was really cute. I was a clownfish, and my husband was a shark. It was adorable. Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1994. Oh, let me grab these pictures. No. Interesting. Yeah, maybe they met on set. That's a good thought. So the spouse, then, is Penelope Tessa Green. We'll say this is her. We'll say that this is Jack Roottrees. And that this is him. Although it might not be, because we have the baby photo. Well, Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1994. This is Joke-O-Lantern, 1997. So they have another baby. Okay. Because I was like, there's nowhere for me to put a second picture of this kiddo. So whoever this is this. Your occupation? Baby. Your occupation? Studenta. Oh, Bonnie was a housewife. We got April. Jane. Penelope Tessa Green. Those photos. Booyah! So, November is not a college student. She might be K through 12, but she's probably something else by now. Possibly. Although, I mean, she is younger, but maybe, I don't know. So we have unknown baby. This is not right. He is not right. Something about you is not correct. I feel like you had an occupation other than musician. He did one album and it sucked. And I feel like he's got to have... And we know now that this guy is this guy because it got locked in, so this has to be him. So everybody else in that thing is accounted for. Got Bonnie. I need Bonnie's kids even still. Yes, alright. You have a good pic of you dressed as a bunny and your mom dressed as a carrot. I think little like family matching costumes or like related costumes is so cute. I wonder if there's anything more interesting about the Laugh Lounge, or is this... Nope, that's it. Okay. I don't need to look up this, do I? Oh, thank gosh. Okay, Joke-a-lantern. Laugh Lounge Comedy Club hosts several fundraisers throughout the year. Most famous one seems to be Joke-a-lantern, which happens every Halloween. Comics and patrons are encouraged to wear costumes. Seems like the person with the best costume wins a voucher, which can be redeemed for 5 pounds of buffalo wings. Sounds so good. Here, there's a 2-drink minimum and 0 tolerance policy for heckling. I like that you have a minimum of 2 drinks, but nobody can heckle anybody. Every year we tell people not to heckle the comics, and every year someone ends up getting kicked out. Don't do it. This didn't really tell me much. Okay, so we found a little bit of information there, and that was from Tommy Mark Sheridan's. I don't know if there was anything else there. Okay. Anderson Maples. Let's look at this here. The first Anderson Maple Farm. That photo was added to the evidence. Got it. Have we tried searching just Gwyneth Anderson? Same page. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. So, ooh. Okay, so Gwyneth had sisters, but they're not really part of our tree here. Before Elias took over, only syrup. This led to the 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Although it expanded well beyond their original farm, been preserved as a tourist attraction. Gwyneth would have used as a housewife. Okay, so then from there... I think we had gone... Do we go to the 5 pieces again? Or I'm not sure where we went from here. We have Carl Roottrees. We tried looking up his wife. Oh, maybe not. You stumbled across an auction for a black and blue dress. It's the Brenda White original. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. Is it blue and black, or is it white and gold? The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottrees and started designing clothes for Root. That's funny. Alright. So we searched... we searched Roottrees Candy Company and Root. So we've searched Brenda Roottrees. Okay. And then we have Watchman of the Year title, which we had looked up. We know that it was awarded to Elias and Carl. Elias and Carl. Why Elias? Why Elias? It's either that Elias or this Elias. And this Elias was a mechanic, so I'm going to guess it's not him. What did this Elias do? Media mogul. Politics. Oh, or original Elias. Oh. The real answer is that it's blue and black. Yeah, it is. It's just... I remember swearing up and down that it was white and gold the first time I saw it. So this Elias, you're right, is probably the original Elias. You may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Focus on companies, CEOs, the economy. Okay. I wonder if there's more we can look up. They flood the results. Okay. Elias Roottrees was awarded Watchman of the Year in 1936 for his accomplishment of rolling out 5 pieces to a global market. Notes from the article and a scan someone made of the cover have been added. And then Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root. The cover, oh, not for his work with the Roottrees Candy Company. Interesting. Cover and a summary of the article has been added to your evidence. Interesting that he gets all the whatever and not his wife. That's probably fine, right? Oh, so handsome. Carl Roottrees grabs life by the roots. Also, our ongoing coverage of who's in the corporate world. Business Watch. Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. According to the cover, Business Watch is the magazine for and about corporate leaders, and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. It actually just says our ongoing coverage of who's. Not who's who. Who's. Spell checking. Again, if anybody ever wants to pay me for my editing services. What year is it in this game? It's something. It's something. When was this from? Don't know. It's like now. It's like the 90s. 1998. It's 1998, December 6th. I was like, it's whatever age this computer is from. Okay. Yeah, so Carl was chosen not for his work at Roottrees Candy, but rather a clothing company, Root. Period. Here's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin, Jim Roottrees, a notable singer, oh, we knew that, who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. Right, Carl's cousin, Jim, who had a daughter around that. Okay, so handy. I feel like that helps with some people's ages and generations. Yeah, that's true. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were being copied by other brands. Seeing the demand, Carl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottrees at the time, spearheaded Root. Okay. Elias Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognize the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of the 5 pieces. In 1908, Elias forms the Roottrees Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. 1909, Elias has the daughter, first of 5 children. 4 more follow, leading to 1922, Elias invents the 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavor per child. I guess we just logicked that together and never, found this piece of evidence. Okay, whatever. 5 pieces are sold in some Pittsburgh markets. 5 pieces are rolled out to all of New England. New recipe and flavor is finalized, and the candy begins nationwide distribution in department stores and other shops everywhere. Roottrees Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. Are maple trees like a big thing in Pennsylvania? 1935, with the help of his son Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm, new and industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. We already have that information in there too, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Elias Jr., he's the architect. Production is tripled, worldwide distribution begins. There's also a what's next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clanson Trust. Okay. Or is it Maple Farm? Like capital M belongs to Maple family? No, because it belonged to the Andersons. It was Anderson's Maple Farm. And they're all made with maple syrup. So it's like maple trees. Alright, this is Carl. This is Carl and Elias's extra pictures. That's great, but it hasn't given me much else. I wonder if I can look up like the factory or the warehouse in the Butler County Times. Flood the results. Carl's mentioned quite often, including an article that also mentions Ernie Jr. Most of the articles concerning Carl are not too important. Planes Crash is too recent to appear in these archives. One announces Carl's marriage to Brenda White in 1978, both in their early 20s. Another seems even more frivolous. Apparently in 1981, Carl got quite drunk at a charity event and broke his arm falling down some stairs. Why is that worth pointing out? I don't know. This is weird vibes. Weird vibbies. I don't know why, but that makes my brain go, huh? Article mentions Ernie is the article that also mentions Ernie is from 1996 when Carl took over as the 5th president from Ernie Jr. Ernie Jr. apparently liked to stay out of the spotlight and never appeared in the Butler County Times other than a few mentions here and there. Article does mention an illness as the reason Ernie Jr. was stepping down. Now we know that he passed away. This is his wife and their daughter, I believe. Yeah, he passed away from something. I don't remember. Charity event. $1981. That's weird. I don't know why. Because, like, his marriage to Brenda White would be important because it's like, oh, that's Brenda White's thing. 1981 charity event? But that's not like the charity event from this. That's 1997. Yeah, we can look up Ernie Jr. for sure. Yeah, no, it just brings up the same stuff. Elias appeared pretty often. Almost everything you find in the first few pages is the same types of things you can do with a basic internet search. Okay. Miracle Roottrees and his son, who glows exclusively by Miracle Jr., have appeared in the Butler County Times a great deal. Miracle Network has a collection of churches, TV shows, and products that can be purchased. You do find one article mentioning legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States called the 3 Generations of Miracles Tour. Author speculates that they're going on tour to leave their legal troubles behind. So I wonder if that whole legal battle, the Roottrees versus RR, was versus one of the Roottree boys, whether it's Ronald or Robert, and maybe versus Miracle Jr. or one of the Miracles. Because of all the advertisements, the results are not particularly relevant to your search. Any attempts to find more about these legal troubles is thwarted. Yeah, 3 Generations of Miracles. Yeah, this is the flyer. We already have the flyer. 3 Generations of Miracles tour. So Miracle Third and his wife Nicole, we already have them in there, and we know they're pastors. Miracle, the original, will make a special appearance, and it's mostly about Miracle Jr. here. We've already seen that. I wonder if Starlit would have anything about Ron Rafferty. No. Okay, back to the... Not the library, but... Yeah, maybe back here. Okay, and let's check out the Clancy Trust again. Named after Clancy Edward Roottree, which is Carl's grandfather. Why is this... Okay. He was a lawyer at the time. Fixed percentage of the profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative, and it's for each blood relative at birth, first accessible when they reach 18. Numbers have never been disclosed. Known for being essentially impossible to get around due to the many checks and balances written into it. Okay, this is where we did Roottrees versus RR in 1994. And then we had looked at the 5-piece guarantee, which is why it's the president. The yearly salary is always locked in the price of a single pack of 5-piece. Debated online and in person by economic enthusiasts. I think I have, Business Watch, maybe like 5-piece, like 5-piece guarantee. Plans said trust. Plans said? Okay. Clancy Trust mentioned many times in Business Watch. Most results are from the 40s and 50s, occasionally more recent references. From context, it's clear it allows the entire Roottrees family to earn money based on the profits of the candy company. First article you can find in 1943 mentions the infallible legal aspects of it were designed by Clancy Edward Roottrees to secure the future of his father's host name. You might find more online, which we already did. Okay, now Gwen. Find some information about old films. Okay. She was an actress. Highly publicized divorce, which we know is Wild Bill. I think we looked at the movie already. I don't know if it was... Yeah, Guys Like Us, Christmas Mission. We'd already looked at those. We'll look at them again in a minute. Widely circulated picture, which we've added to evidence. Okay, she shouldn't have been Roottrees, but her father took her mother's famous name. So we did Christmas Mission. On a page called Flops, war movie about World War I in 1955. No additional relevant information. And we looked up Guys Like Us, and this is where we found out about... No. This isn't Wild Bill. 2 secretaries who pose as businessmen in order to get ahead in life. Gwen Roottrees. I feel like we looked up Leslie Florence and Harrison Lane and didn't... Yeah, Gwen Roottrees co-starred, not much relevant information. There isn't even a did you know trivia for her. And then Harrison Lane, I feel like we tried. Television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was in a villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero, joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know, though, he married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so saying he's not important. Peter Janowitz. Music critic. Find him mentioned on a fan website about a band unrelated to the Roottrees. He used to work for Modern Music Monthly. I feel like we already looked him up. Too many results. You'll have to look up a specific album name or artist. Okay. Modern Music Monthly was the magazine. Now, Lauren, this is where we got, like, that big thing. According to a website about famous authors in the early 60s, she released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty. And then they discovered she was related to the Roottrees, and they were like, use that last name. Life Between Wars is that book that we read that's been very important with the untimely death of her husband. What is Romance in Court? Did we look this up? Book by Lauren Roottrees, first and most famous of a series of 3 books often called the Court Jester series. All 3 books in the series are about different romances but told via the same narrator. You can probably surmise the narrator's profession. What? Are they a court jester? Or is it like a comedian? 2 other books were called Return to Court, New Romance in Court. Searching for them online yields few results. Books had some popularities when they were released in the late 60s. Now, 30 years later, they aren't in high demand. Okay, it's the first and most famous of a series of 3 books. Okay, we just read this. This is by Lauren Roottrees. Let's try the library. I don't know if this is important. But sometimes little things have been shown to be important. Romance novel by Lauren Roottrees. About the author blurb mentions she has the inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lectures on the Middle Ages. Mhm. Okay, her brother Clancy's lectures on the Middle Ages. So he is a... something. What is he, a teacher? Hang on, let me go back up. Actor, advertising, architect, artist, author, maybe cashier, CEO, chef, comedian, construction dancer, director, doctor, driver, farmer, firefighter, hairdresser, housewife, interior design, lawyer, manufacturer, mechanic, media mogul, military model, musician, news anchor, nurse, pilot, police officer, politics, preacher, principal? Oh, professor. There we go. Lecturer. He's a professor. Thank you. Lauren has been very kind to provide us with the amount of information that she has. Okay, so we feel pretty confident that Clancy Jr. is a professor. It's so hard to find these little itty bitty bits. What were the other ones called? Return to court. I don't... Searching for them online yields few results. I don't know if this will be important, but... Yeah, okay, same thing. Inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lectures on the Middle Ages, but just in case, we're going to search the last one as well. Yeah, okay. So one of her brothers... Okay. So he's a professor. Clancy Jr. But he's at least a professor. I wonder what Elias did. Did she say that in her book somewhere? It was like, oh, me and my brothers became... musicians, artists, dancers. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge. The most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home... Okay. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge. So one's a lawyer, one's a professor. What do we think the third one is? A doctor? Let's stick that there. Knowledgeable. Advertising? It's not really knowledgeable. Architect? Like the uncle? Yeah. Author? Cashier, construction, dancer, director. I thought maybe doctor, but not. Driver, farmer, firefighter, interior design. Media mogul. News anchor. Nurse, pilot. Politics. Principal. Knowledge. Public speaker, maybe he talked about things. Retail, screenwriter. I feel like doctor's not bad. Like a lawyer, a doctor, and a professor. Those seem knowledgeable. Also, can I guess at this baby's name? Just because I know you're a Roottrees. Maybe you're Tessa Roottrees. Because it was Penelope Tessa Green. Are you older now? No, in 1997 you were a baby, and it's 1998. You're still a baby. Oh, fool me. Let's also get this guy's picture in. We also see if he's Robert. We don't know what he does. We could try looking him up, maybe. Roottrees. Robert. Doctor, just another lawyer or professor? Could be. Could be. Let me just try them. thought Tessa Roottrees was good. Are you Christina? Are you? I feel like you're gonna be Tessa. You're a baby. Now, Elias the mechanic. How would I find out more information about him? The tone you said that with, you're still a baby. Well, no, just as somebody who has, like, I mean, this baby looks like baby. This is baby, like a year ago. Oh, Christina is your name? I don't think I knew that. I think in my head, well, I guess in my head you've been Christy? I don't know. In my head you're just always Fairy Room. Yes, but this baby would be like roughly what, my baby's age now? This baby is not 2 years old yet. Or it may have just turned 2. So you're a baby. Full name Christina, but Christy for sure. Okay. Elias. He's a mechanic. So is it like... like Roottrees Auto Shop? Mechanic. This is weird. We don't know Miracle Jr.'s wife's name. That's like super odd to me. Could be any of these. Well, Bethany, Kellogg, and then David the third and fourth. That's like 3 related people. Where do they fall in? And if this is Rafferty and this is LaRue, is this Rafferty LaRue? Or... I assumed... Okay, this is going to be insane. This is going to be insane. They call them the LaRue sisters. Diamond, Jane, and we also have a Kim LaRue. What do you think would happen if Clark Rafferty initially married this girl Danielle and they split up, then married Jane LaRue and had like a kid, then married her sister, Kim LaRue, Jane's sister Kim, Diamond's sister, and these are still the Rafferty LaRues. With that, because we have a bunch of Rafferty LaRues. I have 2 Rafferty LaRues that have to go somewhere. Jessica and Katrina. Oh, come on. It's not... I mean, it makes sense, but oh no, Clark, don't do that. Yeah. So we know Clancy Jr. is right. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about Clancy Jr. Because I remember Clancy sent him to the academy, which I guess professor would make sense for academy. I was thinking like military academy, and that's why Carl had, I mean, still could be that he went to a military academy, but... And then I feel like Elias is the one who looks like... They said Eli was the one who looks most like the grandfather, or the father in the picture. So I'm pretty confident I've got the pictures right. We know that this guy's locked in, which means that this is the only picture left for Clancy. And I feel like we're good on his job. We could maybe try again that he's a musician. But no, that wasn't correct. Something about him is not right. We know for sure that Clark is their son. We know for sure that every other picture... Ooh. Let's take a look at that picture again, actually. Oh no, we don't have one of the next generation down. So we have just Miracle Jr. and Elias. We don't have a picture of like their kids yet. We only have a picture of these two because of Gwen. Okay. Yeah, because in this picture, The only man not identified is Clark. And we know he's in the picture because his name's there. And then we think this is November. So these 2 women that are left, one of them is Bonnie. And then, no, Bonnie is this one. Bonnie's that one. So we've got a Gwyneth M and a Gwendolyn and a Caroline. So who do I have? This is Caroline. Okay, that's Caroline. So one of these is Gwyneth M or Gwendolyn. Gwyneth M and Gwendolyn. Let's see if we can get some pictures on them. So Gwendolyn, and then Gwyneth M is also in this. Oh, Gwyneth M. Okay. So her father kind of had reddish hair. They ended up with reddish hair. This is her sister. So maybe this is maybe those 2. And then I might have their pictures backwards. Gwyneth and Ernest is there. Can I see where they're pictured? Now, if this is Ernest, maybe it's Ernest and his sister. And then her and her next to each other. Let me switch them around. So her and her, they were standing next to each other. And then they were standing next to each other in the picture. Okay. Now, Gwyneth. Girlie, what did you do? I hate to say this, but were you a housewife? They should put house husband on here so I can assign all the women as housewives until proven otherwise and all the men as house husbands until proven otherwise. She was an artist. Yeah, no, I have no idea what they do for a living. We know that this was the, like, free spirit generations. They could have been, you could be an actor, you could be an artist. They could both be artists, you know? You could be a chef. You could be also a comedian. You could be a dancer. She did mention somebody in the family was dancers, I thought. She was like, they all want to be dancers or artists or something. And so far, I don't think I have any dancers. Were you a dancer? Can you imagine if it just, like, popped up as correct? Alright, I'm putting you back in unknown, because I don't know what to do with you. What else could you have been? A driver? A hairdresser, maybe? Does either one of you want to be a hairdresser? Housewife. Interior design. Anybody like interior design? Okay. Lawyer, manufacturing, media mogul, model. Anybody want to be a model? Tell us what you do. A nurse. Did anyone become a nurse? I hate that I'm going for stereotypical female jobs, but I'm trying to play the game here. Anybody here a pro athlete? Anyone become a pro athlete? Or do you work in retail? Anybody become, unfortunately, maybe secretary? What about travel agent? Anybody like traveling? Nope. Okay, well, who knows what they do? I'm sure we'll find out. Alright, so now Gwyneth married some man and had a child with that name. Do I have anybody 2 last names, like Sam and Stephanie? You know? They could be screenwriters. Was that one? Are you a screenwriter? Public speaker. Were you a police officer? Were you a media mogul? Were you... I don't know. Alright. Okay, but let me try her first, because this is 4 people, likely all with the same last name. So this is probably the Wilsons. These are probably the Wilsons. Jem Wilson, Jason Wilson, Steven, Zach. Steven Wilson. Okay, we got a random thing. Dr. Steven Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Steven Wilsons and Dr. Wilsonses, this one apparently found a way to game the search result as he pops to the top every time. His website claims he is the pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is that he was apparently the doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him on his website, as well as a picture of his 3 children, so she married Steven Wilson. And I'll bet... Okay, these are the kids. Dr. Steven Wilson's kids. Quote below, the picture was credited to Jason. My dad is the best dad in the entire world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would me, my big brother, or my sister. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the oldest, middle, and youngest. And this youngest is Jason. Seems like this was taken 2 years ago, so maybe he's a college student by now, and they're both K through 12. It's a stretch and a half. But let's say she's Jem. This is Jason. It's Jason. I don't think I got all the... Did I get all the pictures? Yeah, I did. Okay. Jem and the other one. Zach. So Zach, I wonder if you're a college student. Jem. Also, did I have another picture real quick? Hey. Steven Wilson, pediatrician to the stars. Let's just tag this one on in there. So we might get some of these right here in a second. Yep. Okay. Kim LaRue. Oh, we got Kim LaRue right. He did marry her other sister. He married her other sister. Oh, we gotta knock at the door. They're back. The mysterious person.
On the phone, I said I
forgot there's voice acting.
But I can't reveal everything. Not yet.
Ah!
I'm sure this all seems like deception
It
for deception's
does.
sake.
Tell me more.
It's true. I'm working with lawyers. But not the candy company lawyers.
It's Lauren?
My
Is this
publisher's
Lauren?
Lawyers.
My publisher's lawyers?
I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees. Especially Elias and the 5 Pieces. The truth often isn't. But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried. It'll look like I'm making things up to
Girl, exploit that tragedy. Exploit it.
So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story.
Okay, I'm unearthing the whole story.
If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that.
Yeah, sure.
I hope you understand. That said,
Is this
I can
Lauren?
say
Do we think
that
this?
the
Do we
work
think this is Lauren?
very personal.
Is it Lauren?
To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed.
I sure did.
It's locked for now. I'll return one final time.
Oh, this is it?
After you fill it in. Also, there are fewer Roottrees left.
Yes.
In a sense, that makes it easier.
A little bit.
Use process of elimination.
Yeah, the only problem is they're...
It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they work from here on out. I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake.
Trust your...
You're
the
getting
intuition
closer and
scores.
closer
Okay.
to the truth. I look forward to seeing you
So
soon.
she's not coming back until I solve it all. And now I have to get 4 right? Okay, what's new? Oh. Okay. Next time they returned, they gave us a partial explanation, hired us to help verify the personal account of the family's history. All that's left to do is finish the family tree, find what's in the locked space, which they said was personal to them. Okay. 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 So I feel like he's also K through 12. So I feel pretty confident that this is correct. Now Gwendolyn, if her husband's a doctor... That's a terrible thing to say. Is she Sam? She could be, absolutely be Sam. This Sam? Or is there another Sam? You know what I mean? Like, is she Sam and she's like, it's very personal to me, you need to look into here. What does Sam do? Sam's an author, though? Publisher? her publisher. Unless she's like one down, like is she Gwyneth, like Sam's daughter? Okay, we don't have Luisa Garcia, right? So let's stick in another name. Another female name. Now, Bonnie Hudson has a spouse and 2 people. So I'm looking for a family of 3. So it could be David the Third and then Bethany and David the Fourth. So you would be like a David the Third, maybe. Guy Hudson has just like a spouse. Now, Gwyneth Madsen. We have another photo of Bonnie. I don't think so. There will possibly be one. Maybe when we find out something. Let's search David Kellogg. But maybe if we search something about her family, it just means we can put another one in, not that we actively have one yet. It was 2 G's. Yeah, Kellogg, David Kellogg III. What was the other name? Right? Oh, it maybe just sounds important because, like, Kellogg, the cereal company, maybe? Bethany Kellogg, because they're both David Kellogg's. Maybe Bethany is famous for something? No. Okay. Did I search Bonnie Hudson? Can I search Bonnie Kellogg? Maybe after she got married? But he's the 3rd? I know, but unsearchable, apparently. Okay, because then I have Gwyneth, and I need 2 people. A man and somebody else. Sam and Stephanie Cattrall could be. Lansing. Yeah, it has to be them, because I don't have anybody else that has 2 last names. Why keep the name for song if you're not going to do anything with it? Not wrong. So maybe this is Sam and this is Stephanie Cattrall. Was it 2 T's? 2 T's, 2 L's. Sam Cattrall. When she was married, she would have been Gwyneth. Gwyn. Okay, no. I can't. This is killing me, dude. Can I just look up Kim LaRue? Jane Del Vecchio is listed on a talent for hire site as a wedding singer. Way down in the credentials section of her biography, it mentions she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRue of the Lucky LaRues. Also mentioned to only contact her agent in the event you actually wish to hire her, and that any and all inquiries about her past or her sister would be ignored. Really? Can I find something about them in, like, the periodical? Oh. Okay. In an article from 1968, you find a small section focusing on young talent that MMM predicts will make it big. Has this to say about the LaRues. The LaRue sisters got their start doing session work for their great-uncle's record label. Their great-uncles? Oh, that's not a Roottrie. If you remember any songs from 1960 to 1965 that featured the voices of kids, they were probably involved. Back then, they were credited as the Lucky LaRues. Now that he's passed, they've moved on to bigger and better ventures and are going by their full names. Diamond and Jane have been touring with some famous faces. Ever heard of the Roottrees? And are looking to release an album sometime in the next year. Youngest sister, Kim, is about to step into a prominent role on Broadway, taking over for one of the children in Oliver. Lucky LaRues indeed. He dated 2 of them. Okay, so I feel like Chris is the only other Rafferty. Nothing for Chris Rafferty. And then these have to be the two LaRue's. What did it say about Kim? Oliver? Like Oliver musical? Oliver Broadway? Ooh, Broadwalk? About Broadway. Okay. Periodicals. Starlet? I don't know if this... I think Starlet was about, like, film stars. No? Okay. I know, we need photos, man. I don't know what else I'm missing to find that photo of her. But maybe one of their kids became like an actor or singer or something. The question is, I haven't gotten him right. And I think I previously had him as musician. Did he become like an actor? Or like, what happened to Clark Rafferty? Now, okay. As for me, my first published book, let's check out Swashbuckle My Heart, just in case. You can be proud. Okay. In the Free Spirits, in any of their family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. Let me just... Okay. But it would have been Lauren Rafferty. Out of print, no copies available. Re-released as X Marks the Spot. And it would have been re-released. Is this the book that we already have? No, A Life Between Wars. Keep out an eye for Lauren Roottrees' next book, revisiting the diary 10 years later. By the back of the book, this is A Buried Treasure by Lauren Roottrees from the author of the Court series. We're printing. We're printing. We found something. We're printing it. That was big. Whatever we just did was big. This was a version of Lauren Roottrees' diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects. The death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added here, and this as well as some other select pages. I don't care if it has no photos. Revisiting the diary. Scandal. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decades between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottree had died. During the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottree. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Okay. Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia. Okay, Patricia, daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as E.C. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that. Almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. That's why they were like, none of us recognize Sam at Patsy and Uncle Junior's wedding. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided that Sam should have been a Roottree in the first place, and even though she was not part of the clan's trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. That's what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam, so we were right about that. So we were right about the fact that Sam Roottree, who might be this lady, author, Patsy and Eli Jr. Okay, so it was just illegitimate because she was born out of wedlock. She was... Aunt Patsy was really young. Okay. Okay. Fine, we solved that. Now, the farmhand EC, though. The farmhand EC. There's something up with this. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But this is the person I think we have the picture of. Farmhand from picture. He's in the back of that 5 pieces picture. And he was mentioned in her other thing. Right? Yeah, Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John. Okay. Okay. I don't know if it's important, but just in case. Alright. What's next? Sam. This is a page just about Sam. This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary release of Lauren's Diary. It's a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottree. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman, and had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Ernie and the kids. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. And her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. So a farmer. So her daughter, Gwyneth Madsen, is a farmer? Possibly. Green thumb. If Sam, was Sam a farmer as well? I don't know. This one's kind of weird. I've got it on author, but I don't know. I'm gonna leave it on author just cause. Okay. Gwyneth. Okay. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. So she doesn't have glasses, but her kids did. Okay. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would path to Samantha Roottree for as long as she was willing. Got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. Now, I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. I don't know. This. I think EC is what's going to be in the envelope. Maybe. I don't know. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. The other... Did we lock in the girl with glasses? Should we swap those girls' photos? Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Even though they were standing next to each other. Look at you. Look at you, Fairy Orb. Alright. They were, right? They were roommates? Got Sam Cattrall. Oh, we got David Kellogg the third. Okay, perfect. Edith Jacobson was not right. Let's try Patricia Jones. Okay. We got Sam Cattrall, which means that Stephanie Cattrall is correct. We just need to find a picture. Gwyneth Madsen is a farmer. So we got that right. Okay. So aside from getting this spouse name, some of these spouse names, this is hard. Gwendolyn and Caroline Morden. Gwendolyn and Caroline. And Gwendolyn was... I don't know. Or it could be anything. Clara. I don't know. Okay, so one of these is David the Fourth. And one of these is a Bethany. We don't know what order they go in. Okay, they were roommates. They were roommates? I need to know more about the LaRues. I don't know how to find this out, but Clark Rafferty, I'm going to find you. Alright, now we found out that he is not a doctor. He is not a doctor. We know at least that much. We don't know what she's doing. We don't know what he's doing. And I still know nothing about his family. Oh, come on, dude. Okay, let's keep reading, I guess. Clark Rafferty, we're gonna figure out what you were pulling. Okay, I'm not sure if Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. Even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pleases and Elias and Gwyneth. Huh, something weird there. Clark, this is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Companion piece to the entry about her son, Clark. Reading this back, I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten married again. No Roottree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob, and Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet. But neither of us ever took a second husband. Okay, pause. While Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, stories and gossip about who he'd been seen with in public belongs mostly. First mentions, one of his first roles was under his real name, Walter Forsythe, so that's where we would have found that if we hadn't already guessed it. Second is an interview. Though he doesn't mention her by name, you determine from context he's talking about Gwen Roottree. And apologies to all the ladies, I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. When you know it, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ripping. It wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. Got the last laugh, though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Now, ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill and that she was also pregnant again, giving this rumor more credibility. Okay. Alright. So let's see. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers. So this is Clark. Elias practically raised Clark and James as brothers. Okay. Yes, he practically never could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. Diamond. Who knows what causes these things? I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last, and Lord knows I was right last time. That's never a good reason to marry somebody. Eli C. practically raised them. Okay. It doesn't really tell me much about what Eli C. did for a job, though. Alright. It's not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. Biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracles Eli, Eli M, or Eli C. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you can see where my pop's names came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. Okay, well, we already kind of got that figured out, that Clancy Jr. is the firstborn son. So that probably would have helped us there. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline, who was Elias's mother. Well, women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess it's because there's no female equivalent of Junior. Okay, hang on just a second. Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline. Gwendolyn. And Caroline. Caroline was Elias's mother. And then there's Marguerite. I don't know. Maybe that explains Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, Carolyn. I don't know. Okay, so if you're reading my diary and you're confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember one time receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottrees. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. Even the government had are we sure? EC. EC. Oh, fair. I just saw your comment. Edward Clancy Roottrees, maybe they didn't get it backwards. Maybe that's what the EC stands for. Easy. Okay. Got it. Anger. Not a companion piece to any specific entry, but rather a fun bonus. Apparently, it's the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes, based on the teacher's name, she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Is that a typo? Me and Pop walked home in town, and she hugged... Oh, it's because she was in the 3rd grade. And she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. Wait, hang on. This is Lauren. Me and Pop walked home. Me and Pop. So Clancy Edward. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I am glad she is gone." So did he have another daughter? Because Lauren is supposedly his only daughter. What? First thing she could find that she ever wrote. What? Okay. So maybe he had another daughter. There's nothing on the timeline. Okay. Does her dad look like his brother? Not really. I mean, her dad's blonde. Right, because you're thinking maybe it was like Sam or something? I mean, he wouldn't look like Miracle. I don't know. Okay. Okay. So these are all low intuition. Okay. Some of these don't even have any intuition pieces. So what are we missing here? I feel like we've been through so much stuff. Okay, well, Clark Rafferty. There's nothing in this family tree about another child from her pop. No, not in here, because this is just, it goes down and there's the 4 of them and that's it. Okay, so we need to figure out what Elias did. We need to figure out what Rena Riley, Carl is gonna be, she was gonna be Carl Jr. I'm trying to see if I can figure out like what his wife's name might have been. Laura Carlson, maybe? And it became Carl Roottree? I don't know. Where would I find pictures of all these kids? Miracle Jr. and Elias M. I don't know. Maybe you're Edith. Who are you? I don't know. Louisa. Alright, we need another Roottree boy. Oh. Robert. Oh. Oh, unless they had a daughter. Maybe you're Christina Roottree. For some reason, I don't know why I thought this was a boy. Nothing. I tried Robert. I feel like did I try Tessa Roottree? Tessa would make sense if it's like her mom's last name. That might be Tessa. Still feel like she's young enough to be like a college student or something. I don't know. I don't know. How would I find picture of the Rafferty LaRue's? Okay. A website about Raffertoons. Clark Rafferty LaRue's advertising firm. Clark Rafferty LaRue. So when he got married, he also joined last names. On it, there's an about page, and you'll find a picture labeled the inspiration for the famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Below that is more detail. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children. And when his wife was trying to get his youngest, Katrina, to calm down for the picture, he had an idea for the Roottree ad. The photo is now in your evidence. The youngest is Katrina, which means I had it right in that the oldest is Jessica. Here, oh. 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 We'll have to figure out Raffertoons. That'll be next. Let me get some pictures in for these kiddos. This is Kim. What was he? He's in advertising? He's in advertising. That's why we don't have him correct, maybe. Okay. You're probably still K through 12 students. Advertising firm. Okay. Tell me about Raffertoons. Super Bowl ad campaign? No, okay. Alright, well. Okay. So we have their pictures. We know that he's now in advertising. And this would have been... I don't know how old, but it's their current about page. Probably not that long ago. Family photos. That's what I'm hoping to get for a bunch of these people. Now, who's Chris Rafferty? Okay, hang on. She's not a college student. I feel like I now have the three of them, correct? Right, because he was trying to get his youngest to calm down, so maybe she's the upset one. Okay, so I'm going to use this opportunity if I think I have three of them correct. Architect, author, knowledgeable things. CEO, knowledgeable. Knowledgeable. Yeah, we do, and I feel like I have 1, 2, 3 correct, so I'm going to try and use this as my fourth. Driver, lawyer, media mogul, news anchor, he's very handsome. I don't know, I have nurse, pilot, police officer, politics. He's not any of the president's principal. Also a professor, or a public speaker, retail, screenwriter. Oh, maybe military? I should probably just try everything. Are you a college student? Did I try? Okay. Printer. Thanks. Just going up the list. Because if I do every single thing on here... Not military. If I do every single thing on here and none of them light up, it's because I've got something else wrong. Also, let me just stick in... give me a female name. There we go. Hairdresser, firefighter, farmer. Are you a dancer? Are you a baby? He worked in advertising. I don't know that I ever would have gotten that. Laura Carlson, Clara Lansing. So those are just some of the women that I guessed at. So you're not Helen Lennon. Maybe you're Joan Monroe. Yeah, he's an advert. I don't know. Maybe because he raised Jim and Clark. Maybe that's how Clark eventually got into advertising. You weren't Patricia Jones. You're Catherine Wilkins. You have Patricia Jones now. Okay. Look up like Cattrall or Cattrall Farms. Oh, that's not. Let's try the periodicals as well for the local things. Okay. Butler County Times has had consistent ads for tours and demonstrations at the first Anderson Maple Farm for a very long time. Farm also appears every so often in a section about things to do in Butler County. Seems that twice each summer the Roottrees Candy Company's current head of farming Miss Cottrell returns to Butler County to demonstrate how the 5 pieces were made at the beginning of the century. Demonstration provides free samples of the original 5 flavors. They cost quite a lot to attend and sell out every time, so Butler County Times recommends getting tickets the moment they go on sale. The ads and blurbs do not have any other relevant information to help you with your search. However, you do learn the farm offers discounts on Tuesdays. Okay. Business lunch. I wonder if they have anything about Kellogg. Nothing. Because we need to figure out who the Cottrell's daughter is. Gwyneth Madsen, the farmer. And we also need to figure out stuff about Kellogg's. There's presumably another picture of Bonnie. This is probably the family photo that we need. We still need to figure out what Robert Roottrees does. We still need to figure out what November Roottrees... Now, she's not a student. She's not any of these. Is she like a dancer? I feel like she might be a dancer. Because in her book, they all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. And I don't feel like anybody else from their generation, musician, advertising, farmer, artist, housewife, like, dancer is a specific thing to say. Mechanic, preacher. Gwyneth does tours for the farm now. That's sweet. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, and baby hasn't been locked in. That is true. So maybe this isn't Tessa. Maybe this is Christina and this is Tessa. That's a baby. Unless it's now a K through 12 student. But I'm pretty sure you're still a baby. And I feel like Tessa, like, why would they be the other way around? But dancer is a specific thing to say about that generation and not have a dancer in there somewhere. Now, what does Robert Roottrees do? So I'm pretty sure that's who that is. Oh, I forgot to put other pictures in. Clark with his missing hair. This one's also Clark. Now that I can put those in. We got that mysterious guy who I think is going to be EC, who I think is going to go in this envelope. EC is secretly also somehow a Roottrees. Okay. This, you are not married to Louisa. Helen Lennon. Maybe you're married to Louisa. I don't know. So I feel like I need some kind of a photo of Christina Roottrees. I don't even know how to find a picture. What does Robert do? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Stephanie Cottrell. Farm tour. Like a farm tour? No. Okay. I think I tried. I tried David Kellogg. Oop. Third, fourth. I think it was Bethany Kellogg. Okay. Oh, Bethany Kellogg is mentioned very briefly in an article about a local high school science fair from March of this year, about 9 months ago. You're a student. Apparently she did an experiment involving sunscreen, ultraviolet light. Article says she was inspired by her mother Bonnie's fair skin. Okay. High school science fair. Okay. What about David Kellogg? David Kellogg the fourth. David 4th Kellogg. David 3rd. 34th. I know. Why doesn't it have a photo with the article? Science fair. Okay, sure. Okay, we know she's a student. I don't really think. Maybe he's older. If he's the older one. Or it could be the other way around. I could have it completely wrong and I don't have a photo. Okay. So Kellogg. I searched Kellogg. Their names, everything in the news. No, it wouldn't be like... Right? Wouldn't have to do that. Okay. Now, I searched all of their names, although I should probably search Bonnie Hudson. Or Bonnie Kellogg, as she might be now. Okay. Let's try Stephanie Cattrall. We could search like all of these. I wouldn't even know what to search. So I need author name and book name. Gwyneth? Oh, that's in Starlight. Okay. Yeah, Mrs. Cattrall, head of farming. Okay, that's the Cattralls. Chris Rafferty. Maybe he also went into advertising, but how would I... Jane LaRue. Let me try Jane Del Vecchio. That might be... Okay. Okay. This, the youngest Kim is about to step into a prominent role on Broadway. Okay. Diamond and Jane have been touring with some famous faces. Jane. Vecchio. I was trying Chris Rafferty. Okay, let me try. Okay, nothing in music, but like because they do advertising. Rafferty. Nothing. Okay. Missing. And then November Roottrees. Okay. Robert Roottrees. I'm worried that, like, I missed the name of, like, a magazine or something somewhere. You know what I mean? What if I should start looking up some of these spouse names? Helen Lennon. Let me go back to my list of just people. Ooh, okay. I don't know who Eloise is, but, okay, we have a new Eloise. Luisa Garcia. Yeah, we're missing something. Luisa Garcia comes up with nothing. Edith Jacobson? Okay. You find a link that seems to be a partial and corrupted list of archived articles from Butler County Times. Articles cut off, but it mentions Edith Jacobson and an arrest. Okay. Crime Blotter article about Edith Jacobson. Also mentions a Helen Roottrees and a Lucinda Jacobson. In 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into a room where the church houses their weekly tithings. Church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I am confident he has brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." So Edith Jacobson. That's not correct. So his wife was Helen. And then one of them possibly married Edith. Right? So Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. So Helen was Miracle's wife. And then Edith Jacobson and a Lucinda Jacobson. Do I have a Lucinda anything? No. So maybe one of them married Edith. I don't know which one. So if you didn't marry Edith, who did you marry? The only other person I have is Luisa Garcia, which I think I already tried with you. But that's not quite right, maybe? Okay, so that's Edith Jacobson. Joan Monroe? Let's try Joan Monroe. Nothing there. I still don't even have another picture of Raina. Where would I even get that? So funny to marry the girl trying to steal from the church your dad preaches at. Yeah. You have a spouse that we don't know. I don't know. Fine, you get Eloise. Catherine Wilkins. Now, it was very nice of them to tell me to look at the Butler County Times. I wonder if that would... Did I spell that right? Yeah. Katharie. And then a Patricia Jones. I know we need pictures. I know we do. But if you know where to find them, you let me know. Because I'm coming up short here. I feel like we gotta find like a bunch of family photos. Like a family photo of them, a family photo of them. I wish I knew. Yeah, I was like, if you know, and we're kind of approaching the end of stream time, but I feel like we're so close. But again, is this one of those times where I'm like, I feel like we're so close, and it takes me like 40 hours. Now, Robert Roottrees and Gwen. I have that picture. Gwen with her boys. She was an actor. He became a director. Do we think he's also like an actor or something? Because like, who... I'm not confident about her. I'm confident. Maybe she's K through 12? This has to be Tessa, right? Did you become an actor or also or maybe you're a screenwriter? And Ronald's the director. But then what was the thing about the... okay, who is Sam? So I can get rid of this note. But that's a baby. I agree with you. That's a baby. Alright. Okay, I'm getting rid of this because I feel like we have their names at least somewhat right. Now, Roottrees versus RR. Someone born out of wedlock and a significant crime against a family member. Roottrees versus RR. RR attempted to unsuccessfully remove a fellow family member from the trust. The person in question was born out of wedlock. So they tried to remove Sam. It was like Sam versus... oh, the woman who tried to steal from the church? Possibly. But the person in question was born out of wedlock and they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. So, I mean, if it's the person who was born out of wedlock, it would have to be Sam. And they're saying that Sam committed a crime against... oh, and I didn't notice, but Samantha Roottree did get locked in as an author, so I bet that's who it is that we've been talking to. Did I ever look up Dustin Christopher Baker? Okay. Dustin Christopher Baker is also abbreviated DCB by his teenage fans. Since leaving Brother Troubles, he appeared in quite a few straight-to-VHS movies that adapt classic literature to a family audience with minor success, the most popular of which was Jane Eyre, which reimagined the Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. He doesn't seem to be associated with Roottrees. Okay. But Sam never had access. That's true, Sam. But maybe... I don't know. 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 What was it? Raffertoons? Raffertoons? The inspiration for the same famous Super Bowl ad campaigns. What? Let's try to see if we can find like a picture of it, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we've done so good. I just don't understand, like, how do I find something out about Bethany Kellogg? Aside from the fact that she was in the science fair, but it didn't give me a picture. Okay, nothing here. Very briefly in an article, it does not have any pictures or additional information. Already got the picture of the Super Bowl ad. Yeah, I think my brain was trying to get a picture of the previous kid. High school science fair. Did an experiment involving sunscreen and ultraviolet light. Okay, so what has lots of intuition on it? I mean, this has 6. Did I ever search WRTD? Oh, WRTT News. Investigative jazz. Wasn't a break-in. Someone with the key to the office. Pipes burst due to a recent storm. Okay. The Roottrees curse. Did we ever search the Roottrees curse? I never searched this. There's a long, rambly conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says the Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following important update. With Carl, Brenda, and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottrees company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Do you think that's a crime against another person? Then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. He didn't step down. We know that he was sick. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. You find a few conspiracy websites that claim the Mayan ruby skull is a symbol of death. The alleged proof is a blurry photo of a reddish shape, supposedly a cave painting from South America. According to legend, discovered beneath the painting were bones from hundreds of different people and animals. One site also mentions that the photographer who took the picture died when their boat capsized after crashing into a skull-shaped rock. Amongst the spinning skull gifts, you find no sources or verifiable details to back up any photos or claims. To you, the blurry photo looks more like an egg than a skull. Was he sick because he was poisoned? Could be. Could be. Okay. What else is on this website? The post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4-corner simultaneous 4-day time cubes. Nothing relevant. Wait. You begin to read the site and come to the conclusion that the words "no relevant results" isn't a strong enough description for what you're seeing here. It's a massive column of technical terms that aren't real and confusing rants you can't find any meaning in. Regardless, it won't help with your search. Okay. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Rafferty at prodigy.us asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looked quite credible, he knows that the proof was faked because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. What? Okay. You find a simple page. Sorry. You find a simple page called The Art of Rafferty, copyright 1997 on Prodigy that lists the author's email address as chrisraff75 at prodigy.us. Below a bunch of gifts that say under construction, there are a few art pieces. The first is a painting captioned, "Me and my fiancée Lulu." Okay. Lulu? Oh, probably Louisa. I don't know. So, fine. You get Eloise. Louisa. Okay, hang on. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Self-portrait of me and my fiancée Lulu. Okay. College student Chris Rafferty. So is he artist or college student? Since they specifically said college student, I guess we can do that. Okay, what else did we get? What? This is Chris Rafferty's cousin's art project. Oh, and it's said to include pictures of Davy. He swims for Yukon. Bethany, yearbook picture, Davy's younger sister, and Stephanie, who is an only child. Perhaps you could extract them using an application on your PC? Oh, extract it. Extract it. Do I have an application? Pixpop! Oh, cousin zoomed. Oh. Okay. Okay, this is amazingly fun. Dichotomy? Okay. Okay, so this is his cousins. The first one. Okay. Okay. Oh. Ah. Okay, cousins rotated. Yep. Middle school. There we go. Okay. So somebody goes to middle school, and then... Okay. Okay. Finally some photos. I know, right? Like... Oop. Let's put that one in. Okay. Oh, this must go there and there. Okay, alright. So, this... Okay. For a second I thought he only had one arm. Okay. Interesting that this is how we get those photos. This is the third one. This is the second one. Okay. So, where was this? Davy, he swims for Yukon. So that must be David. He's a college student, so David swims for Yukon. Bethany's yearbook picture, Davy's younger sister, Bethany, and she is... Oh, we got November. She is a dancer. Okay. Got Joan Monroe, Luisa Garcia, that's Lulu. We've got Helen. We got Edith. Edith did marry Miracle. Got some of those extra photos. Booyah! Dude, we're doing so good. I still have another picture of Bonnie, but that's fine. And yeah, everybody just kind of hang in with me because we're going for this. All right, then this must be Eloise, and he must have married Catherine Wilkins. I had to look up Catherine Wilkins. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I got the cousins, Bethany and David. I need Stephanie. That was the other. Stephanie, who is an only child. And Stephanie is in middle school. So you're Stephanie. You're a student. Now, you're a baby. Do I have your name wrong? Is that possible? I don't have any pictures. And you, what do you do? Because I've got those three. I'm confident she's correct. So we just need to focus on these three now. Huh. Okay. Alright, so let me just read through this just in case. Odd collage called Cousins seemed to be made up of 3 scrambled images. Accompanying artist statement. We had to create a piece of art about our family. I asked as many of my extended family of cousins for their pictures as I could, even some I've never met. Only a few of them got back to me, and my teacher said I wasn't allowed to use pictures of Raina, Riley, or Rose, so I had to get creative using only my 3rd cousins. This includes Davy, Bethany, and Stephanie. Chris's artwork has been added to your evidence. With cousins' photos, we'll need to... Okay, you've downloaded a new application called PixPops. Let's go back and let's keep going. I don't know how we get another photo. I don't know. Okay. He knows the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. So I'm guessing... Chris Raff is... He's an expert at creating fake evidence. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. The owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff asking him to take down his site with faked proof. Oh, the owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert. Okay. Do we look up Thomas Overwood? Who is Thomas Overwood? Who's Thomas Overwood? Oh, down here. No, not yet. I hadn't gotten that far. I was like, where are you getting that name? First entries in 1996 has a blurry picture of the Roottrees Candy Company factory, simply taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. Okay. Seems that Operation RT-29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29th, 1996. That wasn't very long ago, 2 years ago. What's Operation RT-29? More conspiracy websites. Some people out there claim that the Roottrees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals, and this was done in cooperation with bad actors from an unknown government. They claim that due to a loophole in the calendar, it is possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day, so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over. And that every 4 years, 29, Roottree 29, like February 29th, leap day. Every 4 years in leap year, the Roottrees Company hosts a meeting with foreign agents to conspire to poison our children. Their proof is that Roottrees candies contain polyglycerol polyricinolate, an ingredient of the candy that wasn't there when it was first released. They claim that it is added as an attempt to addict people and eventually induce mind control. The website claims to sell pills that counteract this effect for children that have already eaten Roottrees candy in the past. Oh, you do an additional search for polyglycerol polyricinolate or polyricinolate, and it seems to be an emulsifier in chocolates approved by the FDA and widely used across many products. Okay. Okay, since it says we did this, I guess we don't need to... Yeah, it just brings up the same page. Okay, and then... Oh, I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29th. Okay. Alright, let's check out Thomas Overwood. Thomas Overwood seems to have a few different sites about mysterious deaths and curses. In addition to Roottrees Curse website, you can also find one about the truth behind Spirit Cola, which claims that Spirit really stands for Satan's plague is returning in 2000, and that in the year 2000, anyone who has drunk Spirit Cola will die. Another website is called Stock Markets and the Devil's Numbers, which claims that if you multiply any stock's price by 666, then also multiply the current year by that same stock price, then add those two numbers together and divide the entire total by the stock price, and finally subtract the current year, you'll always end up with 666. Okay. Truth behind Spirit Cola? Tell me about Spirit Cola. Spirit Cola is a carbonated drink only found in the southern U.S. Comes in various flavors, including lemon, lime, and cherry. Doesn't have anything to do with the Roottrees. Has he written anything? Nope. Yeah, this is insane. Okay. So... let's try to figure out what's on my sweatshirt. Mayan Ruby Skull. Chris Raff 75. Operation RT-29. And I know we're going long, but I'm okay with it. I don't really see anything here that would be interesting. Alright. Robert, what do you do? I feel like you're an actor or maybe an author or something, but we still don't have a picture. I can't do anything with you until I get this picture of this other person. Ah, that's too close. Catherine Wilkins. Oh, not that straight. Catherine Wilkins. Catherine Roottrees. When she's married. It'd be so funny if you showed up in like Modern Music Month. Be like, yeah, Thomas Overwood's a super famous magician who writes conspiracy theory stuff in his spare time. That would be excellent. I don't know what to do here. I might look up a little hint here. Let's see. Junior. It's so hard when everybody's name is like the same. And I'm trying not to find like spoilers. Let's see. Elias M. Okay. So I'm gonna look this up, and I feel like I was really close to this anyway. I just didn't quite have the right. What was it like? Roottrees Motors on the Jones Graphic and Print website. As a local business, they may be featured in other places. Have we seen Jones Graphic and Print? I don't feel like we have. It's a company that, according to its website, has existed in Butler County for some time. The website seems fancy. It even has frames. The website lists the address, hours, and few examples of clients and the type of work that was done for each. Stephanie Jones campaigns. They did mailers. Roottrees Candy Company. Various. Did we see this? Butler Summer Theater posters and set contributions for Children of Eden. At the bottom it says we also do website design. Children of Eden is a musical song by Stephen Schwartz, a game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson. Really liked it and realized it could kind of fit timeline-wise within the game he was making, and decided to use it instead of something fake as a kind of an Easter egg. You don't need to check it out, but if you do, I like the songs The Hardest Part of Love and Lost in the Wilderness. Also, if you haven't already, you should hit the back button and go back to Jones Graphic and Print. Instead of searching for Children of Eden, you should probably search for whoever was performing it. Oh, the Butler Summer Theater. I wonder how we would have got here. Have we seen this? Maybe it was under Stephanie Jones's stuff? Is it like on her mailer thing? Where is it? Okay. Stephanie may have grown up into an unconventional family, to say the least, but is still full of love. Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye. Oh yeah, who is CM? Oh, right, we already looked at this. Okay. I'm still not sure how we would have gotten to Jones Graphic and Print Company. Roottrees Candy Company, various banners and posters. I don't see it on any of these. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't see it on our campaign flyer. Butler County Holiday Light Post banners. Miracle Network, the tour flyers. And I don't see it in any of the like descriptions. I don't know how we were supposed to find this. Butler County School District, various banners and posters, Butler Summer Theater. Okay, but Roottrees Motors, I was pretty close because I think I tried like Roottrees Auto Shop or something very similar. You find a hit for Roottrees Motors. Okay. You don't find any traces of them on the internet, but as a local business, maybe they are somewhere else. Okay. There's an ad for Roottrees Motors in the paper. It seems Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. An ad for Roottrees Motors has run in every week's Butler County Times for many years, but recently has been changed to include a picture. 3 different unique versions of the ad have been added to your evidence. Oh, 3 versions of it? Okay, Wilkins Motors is now Roottrees Motors. We may have a new name, but we promise we're still the same family business. All that's different is we've joined a sweeter family. So we know we were right then about Catherine Wilkins and them being married. So we had that right. Funny noises need to oil. Come on down. We'll fix her up. 555. Fix her up. Okay. So then from then on, your local family mechanics servicing the entire Pittsburgh area. And then, aha, here we go. Roottrees Motors, your local family mechanics. Tessa Roottrees, our newest fixer, learned all there is to know about cars from her Roottrees Motors parents. Okay. So their daughter is Tessa. That's so weird. And she's a mechanic. Okay, Catherine Wilkins. Which means that this is Christy. It's so weird that this is not Tessa. And then we have Robert Roottrees, and we don't know what he does. He's our last one. So I'm going to get a little crazy. Actually, hang on. Go back. Why is her name Tessa and not the daughter of Tessa? I could not even begin to tell you. And then the Butler Summer Theater. Performance plays and musicals during the summer. Makes sense. This is not summer currently. Their website has a thank you message. Thank you for making our 1998 season such a success. Stay tuned for announcements about performances in 1999. Website lists the credits of a musical, which seems to be the final show they performed last season. There's a cast list, but none of the names seems relevant. Below the cast, it lists the crew, and 2 things stand out. Posters, aha, and additional set design elements by Jones Graphic and Print, choreography by November Studios. Local dance school. They advertise lessons for ballet and jazz. Hardly any other information available. Instead of November Studios, maybe they should have called this place No Mention Studios, because you don't find any information about it anywhere. Nice thought, though. Alright, Robert Roottrees, I don't know what you do, but we're about to find out. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're a baby. You're a baby. Cashier. I mean, just try, like, screenwriter. Oh, there we go, okay. 45 out of 50. Oh, 49 out of 50 blood relatives. Please. Booyah. Let's find out what happened. Oh, top secret.
To my genealogy genie. If you're
Yeah,
reading
good
this,
job, Pharaoh.
it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
You can summon me whenever you wish, but this will end the game. Okay. Who is EC? He is a farmhand. These last 2 are optional, and I won't lock in until you say I'm ready. So this is, we said Edward Clancy. Edward Clancy Roottrees. Okay. And then we have a Mr. Miller. Interesting. So is Edward Clancy actually like another Roottrees family member, and maybe he is the one who got Aunt Patsy pregnant? I don't know. Or maybe she was just raised? I don't know. Farmhand, and we got Mr. Miller. Do we know Mr. Miller's name? I'm not terribly concerned. Along the farmhands, EC and John. Okay, I feel like it's probably John Miller then. I feel like I'm pretty confident about that. Yes, saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John. The only thing I think I don't have is an extra picture for a couple people. Bonnie and Guy Hudson. Front page story in 1982 about Guy Hudson and his wife Patricia dying in a car accident. Surprisingly, they don't reveal details due to the recency of the accident. Unidentified driver who swerved in front of the Hudson's car, causing them to brake hard and veer off the interstate. Although Guy was a somewhat controversial president, foul play is not suspected. There were witnesses who reported that the vehicle which instigated the wreck was speeding, swerving between lanes, and cutting off other drivers as well for at least 5 or 6 minutes before the tragic accident. One witness says it could have been any of us who eventually ran off the road. The aggressor fled after the accident. Police have few leads other than make and model. He and his wife had no children. Yeah, I'm like, meh. Okay. I was just trying to, like, for completion's sake, it'd be nice, but I'm not that concerned about missing. Oh, those are the 2. And missing another picture for Raina. I'm ready. Confirm. But first, here's the final optional entries you found. Number of optional entries left for next time. 3? Ooh, okay. Oh, maybe that's just the extra 3 pictures I haven't found yet.
EC was Edward Clancy Roottrees, and his partner was John Miller.
Yes. Also, it's nice to see your face finally.
That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Did we do it? Did we do it? Did we do it? Did
I'm
we do it?
Sam
Do it?
Madsen,
Yes.
though
We knew
you
that.
know me as Samantha Roottrees.
Yeah, I already figured that out.
Yep. I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
My book tells the truth about Elias, of 5 pieces, and my parents. Not my biological parents, Elias Jr.
Aw.
and Patsy. My fathers. Edward Clancy Roottrees and John Miller.
But they were roommates? Alright,
By
what about
now,
Edward
you've
Clancy,
either read Lauren's
though?
diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser.
Yes, that's... I did read
Lauren
them.
was right. I hated the 5 pieces.
Oh.
She just didn't know my full
Oh.
reasoning. My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man. But his identical twin Clancy and his father, Elias,
So,
were not.
Edward Clancy and Clancy Edward were identical twins?
At age 16, my father was caught kissing
Oh.
a farmhand.
I never met AC in person. Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor. Yeah.
Back then, they wouldn't
I
even
mean,
acknowledge gay people
yeah.
existed.
So
Having
they
one
just
in
like
effect
made him
the same
disappear.
year I was born. A bastard granddaughter.
Oh.
2 stains on Elias's
Oh,
perfect family.
no.
He decided to fix both. They tried to erase
Sorry,
Edward
keep
Clancy.
going too early.
They even removed
Oh.
his 5 pieces flavor. His name was deemed a dirty word.
What?
He became EC.
Wait, there was a did I miss a previous 5 pieces ad? G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, but there was an EC for, what, egg cream or something? I don't think I ever noticed, like, a discrepancy between maybe, like, Miracle wasn't born until later, and the 5 pieces came out before that. Okay.
We were sent to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation
Pop warned us away from that farm for
to
years.
isolate me
Yeah.
from family.
Oh,
But Elias couldn't erase us from existence.
he could
Or
have.
never realized I was the little girl from her
Oh.
diary.
Your pop is my dad. That's why the little girl. That's why Sam would have said that, because they would have been identical twins.
Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine,
Oh.
except without the beard. And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work.
Yeah.
It's a fluke there's a picture of my father
Yeah.
at all. But there he is in the background. The 6th 5-piece. Patsy returned, and things got complicated for Elias.
Steamy
She
correspondence.
fought for my freedom, from a life she deemed unworthy.
Oh, good for her. Good for Patsy. He did have a brother that looks like him. Yeah. How awful is it that such beauty is ripped from its rightful fate, and worse than to live in possession of your brother's twisted twin, an outcast forced to a life of labor under a wicked relative. Patricia Christensen. Steamy correspondence by Tina Angela.
Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father.
Oh, that makes sense.
At
Unfortunately.
Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home. I began to hate the 5 pieces.
None of the 5 pieces were surprised, quite as shocked everyone else, including Sam. She'd been told her parents died.
My father made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As
Yeah.
you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president. But due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy, a real Roottrees. He nearly ruined the company. When Ernie took over, he saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions.
Dang. Yeah, Ernie Jr. has led Roottrees to record profits by developing new products, including the ever-popular Maple Crisps, and by spearheading the formation of Root. Ernie Madsen Jr. article in Business Watch. I don't think we ever saw that one.
Ernie earned about $36.
Oh, because he was the president. Yeah.
They got by on Debbie's salary, but when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills.
And he wouldn't have been
his
a
death was my tipping point.
proven direct descendant because it was Sam's kid. And she wasn't outed as a real blood relative, so yeah, they didn't have the money, even though he was
Originally,
president.
my book was meant
Okay.
to expose Elias's hypocrisy. Until I started to look into the other dirty laundry.
Oh, Robbie Roottrees article in silver screen. See, that's what I was saying. I was like, what if there's like a magazine or something we haven't even seen, like a periodical? Television screenwriter Robbie Roottrees was allegedly quietly tried and convicted under the name Robert Roottrees in a French court of law. It seems he allegedly embezzled from his company RR Productions to fuel a gambling habit.
Ron tried to have Robbie removed from
Okay.
the trust, but couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock.
Oh, that is true. The RR versus the Roottrees was Ron versus getting Robbie removed. And Robbie was technically out of wedlock because Wild Bill and his wife Gwen, their mom, had divorced by that time. Remember, they divorced, they announced they were split up, and she announced she was pregnant. Yeah, Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Okay.
That sounded familiar.
It's nice that they're
The
wrapping this
Clancy
stuff up
trust
for us.
that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future.
Right, okay. We know that.
His entire family's future.
Yeah.
He couldn't write exceptions in without the
Yeah,
whole
without
thing
completely
falling
dissolving the
apart.
trust.
My
Okay.
book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as.
Yeah.
and that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust, as anyone else. The Rancid Trust will secure their future. They can decide what to do with their shares. But I'm old, and I'm not in it for the money.
Oh.
The truth has been eating away at me for years.
Yeah.
But now, I can set the record straight.
So she just needed us to verify that somebody could verify that this information was true.
As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has.
I do enjoy searching for the truth.
Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future. So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light.
Oh, stop. Just kidding, go on. I'm amazing.
And when it does, my share of the Rancid Trust is yours. Like I said at the beginning,
What?
set for life.
Dude, I'm gonna get a house. Like a big house. Da da da.
Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's,
Thank you.
everything finally
Thank you.
feels complete. Unless a whole lot more Roottrees somehow appear from thin air.
Oh.
This is the last time
But
I'll come knocking.
sequel coming in?
Thanks again, and so long.
So long. Shut the door in her face. Come back when you have my money. Thanks to your hard work, Sam Madston's book was published. It received mixed reviews. Life went on and a new president took over the company. Roottrees family faded from the news cycle. And then everything changed. There's another mystery to solve? Roottrees Mania is now unlocked as a new game. New Game Plus? I'm a secret Roottrees? What? 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 What happens if I click continue? The Roottrees are loading. Excuse me? Wait. I don't see anything here. Save and quit? How do I, what is Roottrees Mania? Settings. Gameplay. Enable search all. Excuse me? New game? Oh, Roottrees Mania. Find out what happens to the infamous family in a whole new mystery? The game keeps going. You know what that means? That means we're gonna play it next week. I thought this was gonna be the end of it. Alright, so I guess that's gonna be the end of the stream for today. I know we went over by about 45 minutes, but it was nice to kind of like finish up the Roottrees Are Dead. Now I can finally watch other people's playthroughs of it, which I have really been looking forward to. So yeah, I think it'll be good. But yeah, next Sunday we'll be playing Roottrees Mania, I guess, and we'll be trying to figure out what's going on with the family and a whole new mystery. So this will be kind of cool. This is a very fun game. I mentioned it before. It's very similar to Return of the Obra Dinn. I like being able to like type in things myself, search for things myself. Although parts of this were a bit tedious to find, especially like things like, since I think I searched like Roottrees Auto Shop or something and not Roottrees Motors. And I'm still not quite sure like how we would have gotten the link to that print shop. I'm sure it was somewhere and we just missed it. I don't know. Maybe if we watch the VODs we'll find out, but other than that I'm not. I feel very happy with what we did. I know we didn't find every single picture and every single little thing correctly, but you know what, yeah, get over it. Because that was our playthrough. And I am okay with the way it turned out. But yeah, next Sunday we'll do some Roottrees Mania. In the meantime, what else is coming up? Tuesday will be Tuesday Drew's Day. We'll be continuing the Haunted Carousel. And then next Thursday will be more of Siberia 3. And on, like I said, next Sunday we'll do Roottrees Mania and see what's going on there. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid tonight. Smooth jazz. We're following. Nope, nobody that I'm following is doing... There's nobody streaming that I follow. Anybody have any recommendations? I don't see anything. Is anybody playing Roottrees or done? Couple people. But nobody I know. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna raid anybody just because it's not anybody that I know or anything, and I don't want to, like, accidentally send any of you guys to somewhere, like, potentially uncomfortable, or when you don't know who's streaming or their language or jokes or things like that I can't warn anybody about. So, since there's nobody that we know streaming, I think we'll just call it a night. So thank you all so much for joining. I really appreciate it, as always. I'll be uploading some more VODs to the VOD channel, but in the meantime, they're available on Twitch if you want to watch, like, the first stream of this or anything like that. I'll get them on the YouTube channel here eventually. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else going on. If you want to hop in the Discord, we've got links to our Discord. That's always fun. I think I can put a link in chat if anybody wants to come hang out with us on Discord and get updates on on how my bathroom renovations are going, which I think they're pretty much done as of today. I think the only thing I still need, I don't know if my husband's installed our bathroom vanity yet, but that's our last big thing, is toilet's working, bathtub. Our baby took a bath in, like, a very big bathtub, like our full bathtub, and he had such a blast last night. Just splashing around like absolutely crazy. Thank you for the hydrate. Tasty water. Tasty water. But yeah, we installed everything except for the vanity. The only other thing we need is, like, a mirror. Just need to put a mirror up on the wall, so I don't know. It'll be good. Get some pictures up on the Discord. And then we're supposed to be closing on our house next Friday. Less than a week away, we're supposed to be closing on a house. So at some point over the next 2-3 weeks, I may need to miss a stream here or there, or maybe no streams at all. We'll see. Based on how the packing and unpacking goes. But I need to do that. I need to, like, make sure the utilities are going to be in our name, and I need to make sure everything's good. So yeah, so we'll be moving, doing all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Hope y'all have a good week coming up. Philip, have fun with school stuff. Now that school's starting again. White Star Witcher, I don't know if you're still there. I have no idea what you do during the week, but I hope it's good. Anybody else who's lurking, Medio, if you're still lurking, you have a good stream tomorrow. I'll probably go back and see if you've got stuff on there that I can watch. Or maybe some of the VODs on the YouTube channel. But yeah, whoever else is lurking out there in stream world, just know that you all are loved so much. And I am happy that you all are here and joining me along with these games. So, alright, hopefully I will see y'all on the next stream. I hope y'all have a good night, a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.